All right, everybody. It's your boy Spank Dog, aka Puffinstein, at YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Let's get right into it. So yeah, what you was hearing right there was an original, original music by myself. No AI music. No, you know. This is something I created on my setup, and everything you hear is being played by me. It's simple though. Soon, like, I'm gonna be bringing in the show to music. I'm gonna try to have something new for you guys every time you come through. Maybe tomorrow I'll play something like this. When I come in, just real quick, you know what I'm saying? This ain't about music. This is about the commentary, and we're gonna get into it right now. So let me switch screens so that you can see the commentary, the video way better. And the first video is gonna be what they call wingsuits. They fly in these suits that make them look like flying squirrels. And I figured it'd be a good way to start off the show. So, like I said, let's get right into it. Even though I said it 3 times and we ain't get into it yet, we're gonna get into it now. Let me full screen it, see it better. This is really beautiful, man. First of all, let me shout out the channel. That's a must. It's from Johannes Wingsuit. There's a bar between Johannes and Wingsuit. That's the channel. So it's Johannes, then the bar, and then Wingsuit. Separate words. All right. I'm not even subscribed, but I am now. We give them the big thumbs up. And then we're going to check this out. I thought this was a really good way to start the show. So amazing.
Good jump, Mario.
Yo, he got cojones. That, for people who don't know, that means he got balls. NYC, baby. He looks like he's in Sweden.
Ready, man.
About to come off the Swedish mountains. Let's get it. Wait. That's I would love to, but I would be so scared. Yo, I would be so scared. You know what I'm saying? It looks beautiful. Look at where he's at right now. He's going, no lie, he got to be going about 100 miles per hour. I'm not even playing with you. And if not, maybe 70 miles an hour or something like that. Watch how he passes by the house. He passes by. It gotta be. flying in this world. Seen somebody get caught in the trees the other day. They're the only person besides one other person that did what he's doing, the flying suit, and survived. Only two people have crashed. He crashed into the trees and he hit the tree. The branches broke his fall and he had minor injuries. He didn't suffer anything severe. And it's pure luck. Anybody who's ever done that besides him has perished, except for one other person. There was another survivor. House. Oh, yo, what up? What up, Frank? You noticed that right now. Yeah, he pulled his parachute. Yo, what up, Frank? My man Frank rolled up. What's up, baby? God bless you, man. I hope your family's doing good. Happy New Year. You know, even though it's day 2, don't matter. You know. Yeah, man. Yo, the dude flying is wild, right? You see him. I wish I had the courage to do that. You know what I'm saying? I would never, you know, never would I ever. Wild. I wouldn't parachute, let alone squirrel fly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. What a rush that must be. Right after this, we're gonna get into even though it's not in the countdown, you know, lady died yesterday. She got attacked. Played the news clip. Yeah, I'm glad homie made it, man. Look at the safe landing. All right, so we're gonna switch it up.
We begin tonight with breaking news. A hiker killed in a suspected mountain lion attack in Larimer County. This would be Colorado's first fatal mountain lion attack in more than 2 decades. Colorado Parks and Wildlife says it happened here on a trail just south of Glen Haven. That's an unincorporated town.
After this, we're gonna get into the other segments that are listed in the description. You know, we got like 8 other segments coming up.
About 7 miles north of Estes Park. And this is a story we've been following all evening for you. Denver 7's Ryan Fish is live now in Estes Park, working to get some answers about what happened. Ryan?
Yeah, Jacqueline, as we know, mountain lions are very common across the state and here in this area, but attacks are very rare, especially a deadly one. As you said, if confirmed, this would be the first fatal mountain lion attack in Colorado since.
Would you even go take a walk where you know mountain lions are? I don't know if I would even do that. I'm pretty certain I wouldn't.
1999. Colorado Parks and Wildlife says just after noon today, a couple of hikers on the Crozier Mountain Trail, just a few miles from here, came across a mountain lion and a woman on the ground. They were able to scare the lion away. One of those hikers was a doctor who checked on the woman but did not find a pulse. Then came a huge response from CPW officers, local police and fire, and Larimer County Sheriff's deputies as well, even aerial support from helicopters. CPW says 2 lions were found and euthanized during that search. One was still at the scene, another was found nearby. They say any wildlife involved in a human attack need to be euthanized for public safety, and they are still investigating if one or both of those lions.
They're beautiful, but my question, drop a comment if you would walk where you know mountain lions are. If I was in a car with somebody and they were like, yo, you know, we're headed somewhere where there's mountain lions, I would say you're headed somewhere where there's mountain lions. Let me out right here. And that's only if they're not around here. You know, if not, drive me backwards. Let me out and then you go where the mountain lions are. I would not. You know, and then it'd be like, oh, don't worry about it. I'd be like, nah, you what do you mean don't worry about it? This is what happens when you don't worry about it. You know, may she rest in peace. You know, if she loved walking on trails and stuff, you know, God bless her, but it's not worth it, you know.
We're involved.
We're going to test them for human DNA, and then we'll know for sure. But lions are typically very territorial. If you find one in the area, it sometimes is the only one, depending on kind of that familiar structure. Mountain lions live in Larimer County year-round. And this time of year, lions are known to come down to lower elevations to follow deer and elk herds, as that's their main source of prey.
CPW says they'll also test the lions for abnormalities or diseases like rabies. They advise while this is rare, a mountain lion sighting is possible if you're out hiking along the Front Range. They say if you encounter one on a trail, make yourself big, make a lot of noise, throw rocks if you have to, and back away. And it could also be helpful to carry bear spray. Officials believe this woman was hiking alone before the attack. She has not yet been identified. Live tonight in Estes Park, Ryan Fish, Denver 7.
Man, that's sad, bro. You know, all right, so look, we're going to get into this dude, right, who thought he could beat a woman at basketball, but not just any woman. He thought he could beat a WNBA player at basketball. So he's an average Joe, right? Not, yo, look, I could ball out. I'm nasty at basketball, right? Not even when I was balling out when I was 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, would I think that I could beat? Maybe back then I could have, but even now I realize that as good as I wasn't, you know, like I said, I don't think I would have been able to beat her. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been able to beat her. And me and the guy are probably different because I could really play. You know, and I'm older though now. So at 50, I wouldn't even have a shot, you know, but even back then, I'm almost certain she would have whooped my ass. So, but anyway, I wouldn't have played her. I would have given it up to her. I would have been like, you could beat me. You got to understand how these people practice. She gets paid. Listen, she's only averaging 3 points a game in the WNBA, but that's because I believe she's a rookie. There's a chance she's going to emerge even as a role player or whatever. Now, if you got yourself a WNBA player, now, mind you, the girls only score 20 points per game, the highest scorer. The number one scorer in the WNBA right now is probably averaging like 23 points a game. Trust me, 24 points a game. And that's high. Last year, I think it was 22 points a game, the highest scorer. It'd be like, what's her name? Is it Aja Wilson? And then there's I actually know some of the female stars, but anyway, you cannot beat them. Even if you're nasty at basketball, there's dudes I know from the park that are nasty at basketball. And to be honest with you, the girl that he's about to play right now, I don't know if the dudes that were that nice where I come from that were even better than me could beat this girl. Because there's a chance, even though she averages only 3 points a game, I think it's because she's a rookie. So there's a chance she'll end up averaging anywhere between 10 to 20 points a game in the future. You're not going to beat a WNBA player who averages anywhere above 8, 9, 10 points per game. Anyway, I'm going to let the video do the talking. I just wanted you to get an idea of what you're about to watch. You're about to watch an average Joe who talks like he's nice at basketball, and he's young. He got stamina. Right now, I couldn't beat a little kid because the kid could run circles around me. You get what I'm saying? But, let alone, oh, man. Anyway, watch.
I really don't think there's a single WNBA player who can beat me in basketball.
Okay, sure.
So you think you could beat her?
They all laughed.
You don't think he stands a chance, huh?
No.
Even he laughed already. Like, it's like he already knows he's going to lose.
Not at all? Not one little...
No.
You're fully confident solely because she's a woman?
Yes. 100%.
You are about to witness why internet culture is pure brain rot. This dude thinks he has a chance. Well, Sarah Ashley Barker, who averages just 3 points per game in the WNBA, would take this dude on. Those organizing this one-on-one matchup would announce the game is to 11 with ones and twos. According to the organizers, Anthony the Troll allowed Barker to start with ball, probably a mistake there. The results would speak for themselves. Barker would show her versatility at the rim, her skills off the dribble, where she got murked and called and won on him, rightfully so. When he
said he got murked.
Check ball, Barker ripped it from him. Up 9-2, Barker danced on Anthony between the legs as he and one on him. Right.
Look at the way she goes. Look at the pathetic attempt to try to wrap it through her legs. That's bad in itself. And then it hits her knee, if you notice. Not only does it hit her knee, after he does a pathetic attempt to try to wrap it through her legs, look at the way she goes through her legs. You could tell she could play for real.
Off the dribble, where she got murked and called and won on him, rightfully so. When he checked ball, Barker ripped it from him. Up 9-2, Barker danced on Anthony between the legs as he crossover between.
See, I stopped playing ball before step backs were a thing, so I can't even do a step back jumper like that. I could do a step back, but not the way she did it. You see how she crawled back?
Danced on Anthony between the legs as he crossover between the legs, step back, game winner. Anthony was on his back, smiling after losing, and she would demand an apology to the W and all women hoopers. She would say to him, if you think I was difficult to go up against, imagine what it's like facing my teammates who are some of the best in the world. The issue at hand is that this troll is not alone.
What you're doing
this guy's an idiot.
Right through, so follow through. You're doing too slow on the way up.
Okay, I'm going through a swing change at the minute, so everything I'm.
What you're doing there is you're coming back too slow. You know, I've been playing golf for 20 years. What you need to do is follow through a lot quicker than what you're doing there right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going through a swing change at the minute, so with that, I'm just making everything.
He's gonna see her rocket launch the ball, and he's still gonna have the nerve to talk to her after this. Watch how she hits the ball, and he still says something. Would you have said anything to her after that?
Yeah, thank you. I don't think that was. Yeah, no, I'm actually going through a swing change at the minute, so everything's slow. In order to get, I don't know whether you watch golf, the best players in the world when they are making a practice swing or they're going through a change.
So you just need to follow through. See how much better that one was then. Keep doing that anyway, okay?
Thanks for your advice.
I've seen plenty of power banks over my 15 years of review.
Oh man, he just don't get it. Did you see how she drilled the ball right down the fairway? It looked crazy.
Viewing tech, but this Ridge one quickly became a favorite. So this, a 10,000.
This is Georgia Ball, a professional golfer and coach who received unsolicited advice from a man at the driving range.
I am a D1 track athlete. About this one time, I, for some reason, raced my boyfriend's friend over.
This is the best one. Watch this.
400 meters. He refused to believe that a woman could beat him in a race. He does not run, but he challenged me to 400 meters. And I only agreed because I was doing a 400 workout already. So I was like, sure, join me. Then he ended up bringing both his parents, his family, his friends. And I was like, what the heck did I get myself into? But to narrate what went down, I just ran the first 200 meters with him. I just stayed with him. I'm not exerting myself for no reason. I have nothing to prove here. If you're crazy enough to challenge a 400, 800 athlete to a 400 race, that's on you. I'm not going to correct you. And then since he does not run,
he's trying his hardest and he's barely keeping up with her. And you could tell he's running hard. She looks like she's like steady paced, like just running like normal.
At all, his lack of fitness really hit him hard after 200 meters. And I was like, okay, let me just go now. And then, as you should always do, I finish hard because that's what you do as a track runner. And this was also one of the reps of my 400 workout. So look, I'm just doing my workout here. So yeah, there's me pushing hard.
Look at this. He falls apart. He falls apart. Now, mind you, I'm 49 years old. Like I couldn't even go one lap, not even half a lap, right? But even when I was in my finest hour of stamina, I would have probably dropped out before him. So props to him. But look at how he drops out while she's still running like a gazelle, like it's nothing.
That's what you do as a track runner. And this was also one of the reps of my 400 workout. So I'm just doing my workout here. So yeah, there's me pushing hard. Actually felt some lactic. And then yeah, so the gap was widening. I actually ended up running 57 for this, which is pretty good for practice.
Alana Sabakin, a D1 runner at the University of Virginia, was challenged by her boyfriend's friend in a 400-meter race. She smoked him, which we all knew would happen, as she is, get this, an All-American. Even an Olympian named Molly Seidel, a competitive marathon runner, had a dude mansplain how to run better on a plane. She would tweet, "On my flight, was talking to a guy next to me, and it came up that I run. He starts telling me how I need to train high mileage and pulls up an analysis."
Why can't you think a woman could beat you? I don't understand it. It could happen. Let me tell you something, especially the young dudes out there with stamina. Don't think just because you're young and you got energy that it can't happen.
Made of a pro runner's training on his phone. The pro runner was me. It was my training. Didn't have the heart to tell him, because at the heart of all of this,
he was preaching to her a way to do something, and she had wrote the book on how to do it. Let me rewind that real quick.
To me, and it came up that I runner had a dude mansplain how to run better on a plane. She would tweet, "On my flight, was talking to a guy next to me, and it came up that I run. He starts telling me how I need to train high mileage and pulls up an analysis he'd made of a pro runner's training on his phone." The pro runner was me. It was my training. Didn't have the heart to tell him, because at the heart of all of this is the following. When asked in a 2019 YouGov poll if they played their very best tennis, could a man score a single point off arguably the greatest women's tennis player of all time, Serena Williams? 1 in 8 said yes. Flat out delusional stuff.
I know I couldn't. When I was young, I don't think I could neither, because I never played tennis. Now, if there's guys out there that play, I don't know if 1 in 8, nah, I don't think so. You know, and but that's one point they're saying. You understand? They're not saying if you could beat Serena Williams. They're saying if you could drop 1 point in a whole match. But remember, too, tennis is different. To score a point, you got to win two points in a row. You know, because it's you get the control and then you score the point. If I'm correct, that's why they say love and all that stuff. But yeah, you know, nah, I don't know. I don't think it's 1 in 8. Probably 1 in 50, 1 in 100, if that.
Thus, Self.com asked Mitch Abrams, a sport and clinical psychologist who specializes in anger management, violence prevention, and performance enhancement for athletes, why.
This is the answer why men are messed up in the head somewhat. Certain men, not all men, of course.
This is so commonplace with so many male sports fans, writes Cindy Kuzma. First of all, there's no question this confidence is unjustified at best. Is a pro runner, pro triathlete, pro tennis player, pro basketball player going to wipe the floor with the average guy? Absolutely, says Dr. Abrams, who's worked with athletes from the youth all the way up to collegiate and pro levels.
Listen, if you're a guy who boxes and you're not pro, don't challenge a female pro boxer. Don't do that to yourself. Because what's worse than getting beaten in a basketball game by a girl? What's worse than getting beaten by her on a track? It's getting pummeled by a woman. So, all right, since this is something that's happening lately, if you see this, I gave you a warning. Don't challenge a female pro boxer to a fight, even if you're nice with your hands.
The reason some grown men believe otherwise and then speak up about it may stem from a combination of gender stereotypes and, paradoxically, a lack of confidence, he says. Another paragraph would read, from childhood, little boys are typically taught not to doubt themselves, regardless of how much they still have to learn. They're coached to speak up and show off what they do know. But underneath it,
Yo, J-Lo Barbie, you still there? Let me highlight you. Happy New Year. I love you. Man, I feel bad. Good morning. What's up? Good morning to you too. How's everybody out there in Puerto Rico? ¿Cómo estás? My Spanish is horrible. I love you. That's crazy. Play the show. I love you, Titi.
They may have low self-esteem because everyone tells them they're supposed to know what they're doing and they have no freaking clue, says Dr. Abrams. But since they can't show weakness, they puff out their chest to prove themselves, especially in areas like sports in which they're supposed to.
How was your Christmas? Feliz Navidad y feliz año nueve año. I love you too. A lot of people tell me I look like my father. Tú sabes. Yeah, let me highlight that. Happy New Year to you too. I love you. I wish my Spanish was better. You know, I really do. I really wish my Spanish was better. I wish I could talk to you. So, you know, it's a shame that my Spanish is horrible. Oh, hold on one second, Titi. Espérate un momento. Espérate un momentito. Google Translate. Dame un segundo. Yo sé, mi español es malo, pero yo entiendo poquito. Pero yo no puedo habla bien. Dame un segundo. Google Translate. Google Translate. Okay, dame un segundo. They told me I look like my father. Me dijeron que me parezco a mi padre. Me dijeron que me parezco a mi padre. Thank you. Gracias. I love you very much. I wish you were here right now. Te quiero mucho. Ojalá estuvieras aquí ahora mismo. I wish my Spanish was better so I could talk to you. Ojalá mi español fuera mejor para poder hablar contigo. I wish I could be in Puerto Rico with you and the rest of the family. Ojalá pudiera estar en Puerto Rico con ustedes y el resto de la familia. Te quiero mucho, Titi. Tú sabes. I don't know if you know I'm scared of airplanes. No sé si sabes que me dan miedo los aviones. I'm very scared of flying. Estoy muy asustada de volar. Yo sé, tú quieres, I know you want to see my son. Sé que quieres ver a mi hijo. Yo sé, tú quieres, I know you want to see Jaden. He loves you, Titi. I wish you were here right now. I do. I wish my pops was alive right now so he could. How is everybody over there for the holidays? ¿Cómo están todos por allí durante las fiestas? Oh, you too? Tú también. You scared of flying too? Tú también tienes miedo a volar. For you, I stopped the show. I don't care. Por ti me detuve para demostrar que no me importa. I always see pictures of how beautiful Puerto Rico is, and I'm so jealous. I've never been there. Como vemos fotos de lo hermoso que es Puerto Rico y estoy tan celosa que nunca he estado allí. I'm glad they came out with these translation things so I could talk to you. Me alegra que hayan inventado estas herramientas de traducción para que pudiera hablar contigo. Tú puedes hablarme en español, están bien. Yo sé que tú escribas. You could write in Spanish. I understand a little. Puedes escribir en español, entiendo un poco. I see all the little ones in Puerto Rico, and I wish I could go over there and see my family. Veo a todos los niños pequeños en Puerto Rico y desearía poder ir allí y ver a mi familia. You want to see the snow? Yeah, just like I want to have weather like the summer all year long. I can believe you want to see the snow. Sí, me encantaría tener un clima como el de verano durante todo el año, pero entiendo que tú quieres ver la nieve. If I never seen the snow, I would be dying to see it. Si nunca hubiera visto la nieve, si nunca hubiera visto la nieve, estaría deseando verla. Using this machine shows me just how bad my Spanish is. LOL. Usar esta máquina me demuestra. Usar esta máquina me demuestra lo mal que hablo español. Me and everybody over here love you so much. I'm gonna call you today or tomorrow. I'm gonna get back to doing this show. I love you so much. Yo y todos los que estamos aquí te queremos muchísimo. Te llamará hoy o mañana. Voy a retomar el programa. Te quiero mucho. Mi español, no, I gotta get better. I love you, Titi. Yo llamo on el teléfono ahorita.
To have mastery. It starts young, and for some, it never stops. Quote, there are a lot of boys who turn into men that are just developmentally adolescents, he states. Lastly, from Kuzma. So,
Titi. You can stick around and watch my show, though. I could use some viewers. Puedes quedarte y ver mi programa, aunque me vendrían bien algunos espectadores. All right, so let's get back to the show. That was my aunt. Everybody's like, yo, what was that? That was what you call everything stops for your family. That's what that's called. That's called when it comes to family, everything gotta come to a halt. You know what I'm saying? So now that we're done with that segment, let's get back to the show. All right. So we're pretty much done with this segment. This was the one about why guys can't admit that girls can beat them in sports. It's as simple as that, bro. You know, you can't think just because you a guy you could beat a girl at sports. That's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like just because you are a man and you have energy and you're young, there's old men that think they could beat women, professional women. So, but anyway, we're gonna move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? The next one is about a bigot who pulls a gun on a black family just because they parked somewhere he didn't like. All right, so we're going to pull this one and we're going to get into this one. All right, people, here we go. Back to the show. That's my aunt from Puerto Rico. So just in case you're wondering, you know, I wasn't going to keep doing the show when she popped in. You know what I'm saying? It had to stop because that's my pop's sister. You know, my pops passed a while back. I just got back in touch with my aunt not too long ago. And when she popped in, I had to stop real quick. You know what I'm saying? Especially because it's the holidays and because we're live. You know what I'm saying? If you want to see something uninterrupted, you could go where the edits are. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah? Sexy, get in here. Watch out, Crystal. Charles, move. Hey, put this record.
Oh, you ain't got to record it. They'll be over here in a minute.
Hey, Crystal, he's not doing nothing.
Show me what you got. Show me what you got. I'll harm you.
Stop.
You know, this guy, anyway, I'm going to let y'all see more before I even go in. Because he's a disgusting human being. And I'm glad he's getting blasted all over the internet.
Bitch! Ugly black ass and get the on. My mama owned your mama.
You
dumbass.
You said what?
Owned your mama.
Your mama owned my mama?
Hey, your mama served me food, you dumb.
Okay.
Okay. I will harm you.
Put him up full mask.
Yeah, put him up full mask. Take a good look at your friendly neighborhood racist. I'm not gonna really let him, you know, affect my temperature. People like that, they do it to themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let what he did make me hate him, make me get angry. He takes care of himself. People like him handle themselves.
Sir,
I'm gonna let Dr. Rashad Richey take care of him. Big salute to Dr. Rashad Richey and the Young Turks.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't think you were part of the particular white people that owned other folk, to be quite honest with you. Number one, I think you would have been a hand in the field yourself because they didn't give a about you either because you're not rich, sir.
Right. Tell him, Doc.
So while you believe your whiteness qualifies your superiority against the family that you may have a conflict with, sir, it only shows the smallness of your mind and the inferior complex that you have about self. Because
that's why I told you I'm gonna let Dr. Rashad Richey take care of him, because Dr. Rashad Richey is no joke.
You see others through the lens of you. I hope somebody loves you. It's an opportunity for them to have an intervention with you, sir. Do better with your life. Senator,
he said, I hope somebody loves you. That's not easy to say to a person that's that just did some real racist stuff right on camera. You know, he still understands that. Before he said what he said, I said, I'm not gonna let what you did make me hate you. And he just said, I hope somebody loves you. You would never hear them say stuff like that.
Thoughts here.
It always, no, I shouldn't say that, Doc. I was going to say it always amazes me, but it doesn't amaze me. But you see how white people who think like this man always fall back on that. It's like automatic. It is like breathing to them. They don't even give it a second thought.
It's disgusting.
Back to Africa or to minimize and dehumanize the features and the worth of Black people, or my mama owned your mama, or fed, you know, your mama fed us.
How do you even say stupid shit like that? Like, really, how do you say that? Like, let me tell you something. If you're a Black person that can't stand a white person that you don't know from Adam, I can't mess with you neither. So it doesn't even matter. I don't care if you're orange and you don't like a green person. I don't care. I don't care about the color. If you make a judgment on a person based on their skin color, you're a fool. That's it.
You see, he didn't even hesitate. That there was no hesitation in this man's mind to say those things to this Black lady. None. Because why? It is baked in. And the sooner America understands that, and your point about, I was thinking the same thing, Doc. Look, there were like most white people did not own slaves. It was a small percentage, but the relative status of whiteness compelled poor white people then and poor white people like him now to think that his whiteness, therefore, no matter what his socioeconomic status is, therefore makes him superior.
Yeah, like he's too ignorant to understand that just because he was white don't mean that his family owned slaves. And that's not even like, to be honest with you, it's not like it's a sign of being a high class that you own slaves. They're just saying that not everybody that was white was a slave owner, and that you had to be a certain level of wealth to own slaves. So they're just saying that he's too ignorant to even understand that there's a chance his family didn't own no slaves. A very big chance.
That relative status, the notion of relative status, is embedded in the DNA of white people in America. Not just white people, people who are socialized in this country. And unless you deconstruct your construction, whether you're white or other, you start to think in that same way. The nerve of him. But I was thinking the same thing, Doc. No, you wasn't one of them. Okay.
Right. Yeah. He definitely was.
But the nerve.
When Dr. Rashad Richey, or like sometimes when they bring on a second speaker, I'll go to another segment. I don't think I'm going to do that no more. I think I'm going to hear the person out, because just like I want to talk, they want to be heard too. So I think from now on, as the show progresses, we're gonna let the people that Dr. Rashad brings on to speak, we're gonna let them finish.
Of him to say, I mean, the boldness by which those words came out of his mouth should leave no doubt that there is a lot of truth and reconciliation that needs to happen in the United States of America. Every time you play stories like this, Doc, it is just a constant reminder. I am so glad that I wish a Karen Woods segment continues, because it does.
How do you talk like that to people? Because they parked somewhere that it bothered you. You're that miserable where things that small get you fired up like that. And then to outright, like, not, you know what it is? Trump, he's the worst president ever. He has racist people thinking that it's okay to flex their racism. And they got another thing coming. Don't let that fool make you think that you could flex your racism and nothing's gonna come of it. But it's okay though, because he got you idiots exposing yourselves. That's how stupid you are. That you got a fool of a person who was elected, because he's no leader of mine, and you listen to him to the point where your racism, you decide to express it. All right. See how that works for you.
Doesn't allow people to sleep. It allows people to understand that, one, Black people are not making this up, and two, we have a problem. And until this problem is faced, you know, as James Baldwin, the great novelist of the 20th century, once said, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can change until it is faced. Until this type of anti-Black bigotry and white supremacy is faced, nothing is going to change.
You make such an intense and beautiful point. Some people think that this segment is about a laugh. It is not. It provides a level of levity sometimes. But what it's about is the litmus test. Because we can test the systems of justice by statistical data. We can test the systems of corporate America by statistical output of employment. But how do you test the social parameters that people interact with as it relates to racism, bigotry, et cetera? Well, you have to do that in the court of public opinion, because many of these things are not arrestable offenses. And to the story we just covered, they called the police on this guy, and the police.
Dr. Rashad Richey is such an intellectual. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Put it like this. The reason I show his show so often is because, you know, exactly what he says is pretty much a lot of it, if not all of it, what he presents on the show is how I feel. Big salute to Dr. Rashad Richey. Let him finish real quick.
Police did absolutely nothing. Why? Because the police can cite, listen, the guy was on his own property. Yeah, he's a racist, but he actually has a right to be racist, and he was on his own private property. So,
you know, it's crazy that he would say he has a right to be racist. You know, that's what I tell you. Like, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But I don't think anybody really has. I mean, I'm not saying that. Yeah, he does have a right to be racist. He's not saying nothing wrong. You have a right to do what you want. That's what the freedom is. You get what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that he's right. You know, he is free to be that. That is a truth. You know, but that another truth is he's wrong. He's wrong. How he feels is wrong. Period. You know, there's a good and a bad. There's a positive and a negative. There's a good versus evil. You know, if you want to be on the wrong side of things, that's on you. One thing about me is that when Dr. Rashad Richey says stuff like he's free to do that, I gotta realize, you know, I'm not perfect, and sometimes I gotta be hip to stuff. And it's true. He's free to be racist. That doesn't mean it's right, though.
So what court deals with him? Well, this one, the court of public opinion, deals with him.
All right, I'm going to leave it on that. We're going to get into some science type stuff, you know, because I'm amazed by the cosmos. So we're going to watch something about Jupiter. This is really educational, you know. Hopefully You'll enjoy it. All right, hold on 1 second. Let me share it real quick. There it goes.
The planet Jupiter is not what you think.
Let me take this off. I'm bugging.
Almost everyone is wrong about Jupiter because almost everything you were taught in school about this planet is wrong. This is not a giant ball of gas. Jupiter is a liquid planet, and as if that wasn't strange enough, it's actually a liquid metal planet. Beneath those iconic clouds lies one of the deepest mysteries of our solar system. So, let's dive in. This is the first close-up photograph of Jupiter ever taken. It was captured by a NASA spacecraft called Pioneer 11 in the year 1974. And this is the first moving picture of Jupiter. It's a time-lapse of images captured by Voyager 1 as it approached in 1979. Now,
if you're into the other planets, the cosmos, the universe, galaxies, space, now is a good time for people that are into that because of the technology. You're going to understand more about outer space than you ever understood.
Problem with these observations is that beyond looking really cool, they don't provide any answers about the true nature of the gas giant. They only raise more questions, like what is this thing made of, and how did it get so big? The actual size of Jupiter is very difficult to comprehend. Not only is it really big, but it is heavier than the weight of every other planet in the solar system combined.
That's what also struck me as interesting about this. It's the biggest one. Look at this. How does that come about? Because these things came about. It's insane to even think the millions and billions of years and how far it stretches. You know, if you don't think about existence, like what does it all mean? You know, I wouldn't call you out your name, but I'm just saying, like, I think everybody does, even if they're not in tune with their subconscious. Like, this is what it's about. Figuring out what happened, what all this stuff is, and you know, in a lifetime you'll never be able to cover it, but it don't mean it's not interesting. Especially the older you get, it becomes more intriguing.
It takes up enough space to fit 1,000 Earths inside.
Wow!
For a more relatable sense of scale here, if the planet Earth was the size of a grape, then Jupiter would be a basketball. Now, our general theory for how the solar system came to be starts with a big disk of rock and metal and gas and dust and stuff, all spinning around the newly formed sun.
You know, always stick around. There's always more to come on my show, where we've got 4 more segments to cover after this. See, that played by accident. You know, we still got a lot of stuff left. Very interesting stuff. You know, like I said, if you look at the other shows, there is nothing that brings the show to a pause like me seeing my aunt did. So usually it's, you know, from beginning to end with, you know, it's a live show. So of course there's going to be breaks. But, you know, and my man Frankie came in the other day. So, you know, I also like lost track for a second, but there's always more interesting stuff to come.
And then over millions of years, all of the stuff in that disk keeps
trying to make it where the show is, where another channel would be honored that I put them on my show, because I'm trying to highlight only the best of the best, you know,
smashing together and forming into bigger chunks of stuff. And then as those chunks get even bigger, gravity starts to kick in and attract even more stuff. So under that theory, Jupiter would have formed when one of those chunks got so big that its gravity started capturing massive amounts of gas that were swirling around inside the disk and just kept doing that for billions of years until it became what we see today. That makes sense, and if true, would mean that inside Jupiter, there must be a very big and incredibly dense core of solid rock and metal.
That's crazy that the planet is really a planet inside gases that might have hardened to the point where there's a surface of gas that you could step on. You know, I don't know though. I'm not gonna take it that far. That's a leap. You know what I'm saying? That's speculation. But still, think about what we're talking about. We're talking about that's the planet, right? And then after so much time, the gas, it's a gas capturer. That's crazy, right? It's something that captures gas, the planet. While there's other planets that don't capture gas, this planet for some reason just captures gas. You know, I mean, talk about interesting. It's an understatement when it comes to science, but then some people will find it boring because it's like there's so many ways to go, so many avenues, you know, that, you know, some people will be like, this, put something else on, you know what I mean? But that's really very interesting that Jupiter is not what it seems. It's actually tons of gas on top of a planet, well, covering a planet, surrounding a planet.
An alternative theory, just for fun, is that Jupiter actually started its life as a separate gigantic cloud of gas that was sitting just outside of the early solar system. Over time, that cloud got so big that it eventually collapsed under its own gravity and formed into a dense ball of gas. This is pretty much the same way that a star is formed, only stars need a much bigger cloud of gas to get started. So in this case, you just get a really big planet. And then eventually that new planet got pulled.
Let me like the video and let me make sure I'm subscribed to the channel. All right, now let's full screen it again and hit play. Big shout out to the space race. Big shout out, go subscribe.
Pulled in by the gravity of the sun and settled down into an orbit. If this were true, then Jupiter wouldn't really have a core at all. It would just be like a big layer cake of gas. But the theory most of us were taught was about the big solid core that captured all of the gas. And again, that does make sense. It's not a crazy thing to believe, but it's also not correct.
Looks like a Whopper.
I didn't think that Factor could help me reach my protein goals. Boy, was I wrong. Free high protein breakfast for a year? Yeah, that's real.
Our first real breakthrough with understanding Jupiter came in the mid-1990s. And this is one of those insane coincidences that sounds too good to be true. But in July 1995, the planet was hit by a comet. This is not a common thing. It's estimated that a collision like this might happen once every 6,000 years. But we were around to see this one, and we had the technology to watch it all happen.
Wow, I'm going to rewind that.
By a comet.
You hear this?
95, the planet, good to be true. But in July 1995,
July 1995,
the planet was hit by a comet.
It's hit by a comet. Listen to this.
This is not a common thing. It's estimated that a collision like this might happen once every 6,000 years. But we were around to see this one, and we had the technology to watch it all happen. This comet was named Shoemaker-Levy 9, and it was a very big chunk of frozen ice and rock hurtling through the solar system.
Imagine if that would have happened in 2025. The kind of equipment we have now to watch it instead of the equipment in 1995. 30 years later, with all this AI, camera work and all that, we would have got a way better look at what happened. But still, they were able to understand what happened
at 216,000 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
It's hard to say how big the comet really was because by the time we found it, the powerful gravity of Jupiter had already fractured the object into a couple dozen pieces. But the largest of those pieces was still around 2 kilometers across.
That's 2
and
miles.
At this point in time, NASA had their newly operational Hubble telescope ready to observe the impact. But there was a big problem. The pieces of the comet were going to hit Jupiter on its far side, out of view from the Earth. We were gonna miss it. Except at the exact same time that this once in 6,000 year event was happening, NASA just also happened to have a spacecraft arriving at Jupiter. This is Galileo, named after the first astronomer to have studied the planet through a telescope. The probe was launched in 1989 on a mission to investigate Jupiter and its moons. It was scheduled to arrive in December 1995.
Remember, the premise of the show is for me to bring you guys things that you would love to see, love to know about, to the point where people would be like, oh man, you know, Pufferstein showed that on his show today. You get what I'm saying? So please enjoy what I commentate on. And like I said, I'm only gonna be scouting for the best of the best. There's certain things that I like. So I am bringing you guys also my taste somewhat. But like I said, as far as a niche, you know, it's going to be the best of the best. That's the niche. That's what I'm going for. Slowly, it will get to the point where I try to only pick the most amazing things for us to watch, you know, and it is going to be in my opinion. So hopefully you guys agree with me. This is just the beginning.
And now it had a clear view on its approach of the comet's impact. What it saw was 21 separate collisions over the course of 6 days, with the largest chunk of comet unleashing the equivalent energy of 300 million atomic bombs, making it the biggest explosion ever caught on camera. As the planet rotated around, the Hubble telescope was able to see the aftermath of those strikes. They actually left behind these big black holes in the clouds, and they kicked up massive plumes of debris that were thousands of kilometers high and lingered above Jupiter for months. And this is what the Galileo spacecraft arrives at. The insides of Jupiter have been kicked out into space, and the probe is able to fly right through them. This is our first look at what's underneath the cloud layer that people have been staring at in wonder for hundreds of years.
Now they get to see what's under the gases that have covered the real true core of Jupiter for who knows how long.
The most interesting thing that Galileo found was actually water. A lot of water.
Wow.
And scientists thought that was pretty weird.
Water.
Weird enough that they started working on another mission to Jupiter with a new probe that would be designed specifically to seek out the planet's true nature. That mission was named Juno. The spacecraft was launched in 2011, and it arrived in 2016 to begin solving the mystery within Jupiter's core. So when we say that everything you were taught in school is wrong, that's because we didn't even start to learn the real truth until this past decade. So here's what your science teacher didn't know at the time. Jupiter is not made of gas. It is covered in big, thick clouds of gas that form all of those swirling rings and storms. But those clouds are just a thin layer on top of much stranger things down below. But let's start from the top. In the clouds of Jupiter, the temperature is below negative 100 degrees Celsius. Water ice crystals interact with ammonia, which acts as a natural antifreeze, allowing liquid water to exist in the upper cloud layer. As droplets collide with ice crystals, the clouds become electrified and trigger gigantic lightning storms that rage all across the surface. This super chilled water and ammonia mixture eventually clings together into slushy hailstones that fall down into the lower atmosphere, where they melt into rain, evaporate, and then rise back up to start the process all over again. These jets of hot gas that rise up to fuel the raging storms on the surface reach deep down into the planet's atmosphere. This is what we are seeing in the Great Red Spot. Not only is it thousands of kilometers in diameter, it also extends down hundreds of kilometers into the ammonia rain. The red spot reaches up higher than any other clouds on Jupiter, extending above the surface level and absorbing more UV light from the sun, which then reacts with chemical compounds in the storm and creates that deep red color. Imagine a cloud 10 times taller than Mount Everest and 10 times deeper than the ocean, and that still wouldn't even be big enough to capture the scale of the red spot.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
That's so crazy.
As spectacular
man.
as this outer layer might appear, the average depth of these ammonia and water clouds is only
Jupiter is just this core with ton of gas on top. It says it has 5 layers.
Around 50 kilometers. As we descend down below the clouds and into the lower atmosphere of Jupiter, the temperature begins to rise.
See the gas?
This heat is caused by pressure. When you compress molecules, you concentrate their energy, and the pressure is created by gravity. The incredible mass of the planet itself is pulling all of this material down and squeezing it tighter and tighter until some really weird stuff begins to happen.
What is it?
The further down we go into Jupiter's gravity well, the more the heat and pressure build up. It's like traveling through a fog that becomes thicker and thicker until eventually it becomes a liquid. Except here,
all right, so gas then liquid.
Here, the fog isn't water, it's hydrogen. Hydrogen is the lightest element in the universe, and in an extreme gravity environment like the inside of Jupiter, it's the only thing that can stay afloat. All of the heavier elements have already been pulled down into the planet's core. At a depth of around 1,000 kilometers below the cloud layer, the hydrogen gas completes its transition into a liquid state. And this is the closest we get to anything that might resemble the surface of Jupiter, an ocean of liquid hydrogen, the largest ocean in the solar system. So while the giant planet might be covered by a thin shell of gas, it's definitely not made of gas. It is a liquid planet, but this...
They thought before they seen what they seen that he described in the video that it was the planet covered in a ton of gas. But as within the last 3 decades, they discovered the layers.
Is a far stranger liquid than anything we've seen before. On Earth, we can liquefy hydrogen by making it very cold. The atmospheric pressure of Earth lowers the boiling point of hydrogen to around negative 250 degrees Celsius. But on Jupiter, the opposite effect is going on. The intense pressure raises the boiling point so high that it can exist as a liquid even at temperatures well over 1,000 degrees.
That's crazy.
This ocean is about 20,000 kilometers deep, 2,000 times deeper than Earth's ocean.
Talk about a sauna, right?
And as we reach the bottom, the pressure and temperature created by the gravity well have a very bizarre effect.
Talk about a hot tub. Gonna get in the hot tub.
Millions of times the pressure of Earth's surface at 10,000 degrees Celsius, hydrogen changes state into something called metallic hydrogen. Now that doesn't mean it turns solid like steel. It's still liquid, but a metallic liquid. Maybe something like the mercury.
Liquid metal like the Terminator 2.
Inside a thermometer. The biggest change that takes place here is that metallic hydrogen now has the ability to conduct electricity.
This is a planet.
Jupiter's gravity squeezes so tightly down here that electrons break free from the hydrogen atoms and flow freely throughout the liquid, generating an electric current. This liquid metallic hydrogen makes up the...
Stick around, people. We got way more interesting stuff coming. Drop a comment, drop a like, share the channel. There's really interesting stuff coming up after this. And there's only there's about 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left.
Majority of the planet's interior. It's about 40,000 kilometers deep, and down there at the bottom of everything lies the solid core of Jupiter. Kind of. We previously believed that there was a compact, dense object in the middle of Jupiter about the size of the Earth and made up mostly of iron and rock. That made sense, but new research is uncovering that the planet's core is much more fuzzy, as in the transition between liquid metal and solid core isn't a hard line, meaning...
He said fuzzy. I thought he was going to say complicated.
The two layers kind of mix together. The fuzzy core spans about half of the planet's radius, and scientists now believe that it's like a big, dense soup of liquid, rock, and metal, all stirred up together with no boundary between where one state of matter ends and another begins.
It's too harsh an atmosphere for humans to exist, for sure. I mean, it would be wild if there's anything that could live on Jupiter, but, you know, I don't doubt anything at this point.
Now, we're not sure if that's a characteristic unique to Jupiter or if all gas giants are like that. We haven't studied Saturn anywhere near as much, so we're not sure if it's got the same situation going on inside. So this could be totally normal. It's thought that if Jupiter's core is unusual, then it's likely due to some massive collision that occurred in the early days of the solar system. There might have been a rocky planet 10 times the size of Earth that was floating around out there until it slammed into Jupiter. The energy from that would have scattered and diluted the solid core. This might also help to explain how Jupiter managed to grow so big. The collision theory makes sense, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. Recently, astronomers decided to try and recreate this event with a computer simulation. They ran countless scenarios with planets of different sizes and compositions smashing into a young Jupiter. And at first, they saw the result that everyone expected. The collision resulted in a fuzzy.
Imagine how genius you have to be to do that work. You're actually estimating all these crazy things and having to come up with exact calculations. Like when you see the Big Bang Theory and you see Sheldon and Howard, and those are supposed to be the kind of people that could deal with that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that we can't, but you would have had to go to school from the beginning, like Michael Jordan picking up a basketball at 3. You know what I'm saying?
The core. But in every simulation they ran, the fuzzy core would relatively quickly settle back down and solidify into a clearly defined ball at the center of the planet. So we know that Jupiter has this big, weird core, but we don't know how it got there. For all that we've learned, we really have no clear answer on how a planet like this even gets created in the first place.
All right, guys. So we're gonna get into our next segment. That was dope. Usually I don't take it there. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm definitely, not, it's more so about like, if something happened close to the Earth, or the 3-eye Atlas thing that was going on, or just, or UFO type stuff. But I'm intrigued by outer space, period, as a whole. So like when I seen that, I just made it part of the show. So anyway, we're gonna get into Minutes of Horror. Let me make sure I drop the like. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely something I look forward to. Hit the like button. All right, say no more. So let's get right into it. Just so you know, if you haven't watched this with me before, it's gonna be a couple of different things that took place.
So we're going to go ahead and end 2025 with a Minutes of Horror mystery with a whodunit and why. Now, we do have a lot of people on edge this New Year's thinking something big is going to happen, and whether it does or it does not, it's not just me saying this. We do have cities around the world canceling their New Year's Eve celebrations. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a very...
This is a special one too. This was like a New Year's episode, because usually when I watch this particular channel, the videos are 15, 20, 30 minutes, but this is a short one. This is only 6 minutes long.
Suspicious news story coming out of Borough Park, New York this morning. I'm reading this article from Borough Park 24.
So I'm in New York too. So this is where I'm at.
24, and it's titled Mysterious Dump, Police Badge and Year's Worth of Uniforms Left on 37th Street Tracks. We're not talking about maybe 1 or 2 or 3 different pairs of uniforms. Maybe somebody was moving, they were done the force, and they just threw this stuff out on the street. No, we're talking about over 100 different uniforms. But here's where things get a little bit more interesting. Continue to read the article. It says, according to officers at the scene, because police went out there to pick up the clothing appeared to be authentic and likely belonged to someone.
Oh, this gets a rewind. Do you hear what they're saying? I'm putting this back to the beginning. On New Year's Eve, they found a garbage full of like 100 police uniforms. Now, let me make sure that I got it right, because that's why sometimes I'll drift for a second. But let's go to the beginning and let's hear this again. Because if this is correct, this is crazy. Why would somebody need 100 police uniforms? The only thing that comes to my head is things that are nefarious.
So we're going to go ahead and end 2025 with a Minutes of Horror mystery with a whodunit and why. Now, we do have a lot of people on edge this New Year's thinking something big is going to happen, and whether it does or it does not, it's not just me saying this. We do have cities around the world canceling their New Year's Eve celebrations. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a very suspicious news story coming out of Borough Park, New York this morning. I'm reading this article from Borough Park 24, and it's titled, Mysterious Dump, Police Badge and Years Worth of Uniforms Left on 37th Street Tracks. We're not talking about maybe 1 or 2 or 3 different pairs of uniforms. Maybe somebody was moving, they were done the force, and they just threw this stuff out on the street. No, we're talking about over 100 different uniforms. But here's where things get a little bit more interesting. Continue to read the article. It says, according to officers at the scene, because police went out there to pick up the clothing of...
You pause it for a second. I'm bugging out too. So I be wilding too. It be my fault. Sometimes I mess up to the point where YouTube. Hold on 1 second, people. Just wanted to do something real quick. All right, cool. That's what's up right there. All right, let's get back to this. Like I said, man, this is New York State. They found 100 police uniforms in the garbage, and I have no idea what's going on. It says, according to officers at the scene, the clothing appeared authentic and likely belonged to someone on the job, but had been abandoned at the location. Officers also pointed out that the same amount of clothing and the variety of uniforms suggested the individual may have served for many years and across multiple departments, raising questions about why the equipment was discarded in such a disrespectful manner.
Appear to be authentic and likely belong to someone on the job, but have been abandoned at the location. Officers also pointed out that the amount of clothing and the variety of uniforms suggested the individual may have served for many years across multiple departments, raising questions about why the equipment was discarded in such a disrespectful manner. In my opinion, and how this news story is playing out, and given the fact that these uniforms did not belong to one department, but many departments, it sounds like this individual may have stumbled upon clothing belonging to crisis actors. But here's where things get even more interesting, because then that begs the question, who discovered the clothing? Is this person speaking out? Well, the person to discover the clothing was the reporter of this article. What? The article goes on to say, last night, a sharp-eyed Borough Park 24 reporter spotted a suspicious brown box along the tracks near 37th Street and 9th Avenue, overflowing with black clothing and uniforms, with what appeared to be a highway police badge visible inside. The reporter pulled over and immediately called 911 and Shamram, I think that's how you pronounce it, who responded within minutes as officers secured the items. So you mean to tell me a news reporter late at night driving around Borough Park just happened to notice a box full of clothing and happened to identify there was also uniforms inside? They'd pull over, get out of their car, and they investigate. I mean, we're talking.
I mean, it's how you call it? You know, I could fathom that happened. It's believable, but it's far-fetched. That's what it is. You know, it's not absolutely impossible that a reporter stumbled onto something. A reporter's a person, but as far as like him saying that that's hard to believe, it's far-fetched. Yes.
About New York, I'm sure there's box full of clothing on almost every curb. This is such a weird news story, and the article ends with police stress that anyone who finds police equipment, uniforms, or badges is required to call 911. Officers warn that failing to report such items can lead to legal trouble.
Wow.
The incident remains under review. This story is very, very suspicious. Again, this just reeks of crisis actor costumes discovered by a news reporter nonetheless. That's what really throws me for a loop. And maybe they decided against whatever they were going to do and threw the costumes away. And on top of everything else, these uniforms just happen to be discovered on New Year's Eve when, again, a lot of people feel like some sort of big attack or something along those lines is going to happen. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying there's a real heightened sense around today and tomorrow. This news story also eerily reminds me of another news story that I covered back in January where an HVAC worker, she walks into an apartment and she also stumbles upon all these police uniforms, these firefighter uniforms, badges, and so forth, and explosives. That apartment building with all these uniforms just happened to be located on 533 East 33rd Place. Can't make it up.
Guys, the suspicious materials in question were apparently discovered by a contractor who was scheduled to service the units inside this apartment building. We talked to her, and what she says she found were pretty clear red flags that needed to be reported to authorities.
I had the master key, and I went in there, and I came across a lot of things, and I was like, that don't seem right.
Melissa Caraway works for an HVAC company that was scheduled to service units at 533 East 33rd Place in the Lake Meadows neighborhood. She says residents get advance notice that they'll be making the rounds and entering their units. When no one answered the door, she says she let herself in.
I came across some C4, some explosives, a rifle, a lot of fake IDs, a lot of fireman stuff, a lot of police force stuff, and it just looked like it was fake, you know.
She says the discovery happened around 10 a.m. in a unit on the 6th floor. She wasn't sure what to do at first, but says she called police about a half hour later. Video of the response shows law enforcement with ballistics shields, others with rifles. The entire building was evacuated, officers going door by door to tell residents they needed to leave.
I was afraid because I didn't know what was going on. So, again, I've been out here since like 11:15, 11:30, and I still don't have any information.
After several hours inside, CPD says its bomb unit cleared the scene as a precaution, determining the objects were safe and posed no threat. Police say someone was placed into custody on the scene, but no further information was provided.
You know,
wow, that's crazy.
Oh, the that happened in New Orleans and Vegas, so it kind of scared me. So I just want to call and check.
Certainly understand her concern. Police on scene began to leave this building around 1:30 this afternoon. Residents trickling back into the building shortly thereafter. This explosive scare again resulting in one person in custody, though it's not clear how that person is connected to what police discovered inside.
Yeah, beginning 2025 with actor uniforms and ending 2025 with actor uniforms. Again, very strange stuff, but I do want to hear from you. I do want to hear your take when it comes to this story. Do you think
it is bluefish? Welcome to Watch Mojo.
All right, guys. So as you can see, you know, they found stuff. I don't know who could have thrown it out. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know if they were up to no good regarding the suits. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into something else right now. Right now, we're going to watch the top 10 most dangerous foods. This is definitely bugged out. I didn't know you could be choked to death by a food. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's this? Fugu. It is bluefish. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for foods that, under the right circumstances, will leave you dead instead of satisfied.
It tastes kind of like rhubarb, but a little more bitter. And don't worry, you have to eat about 11 pounds of leaves to have a fatal dose. So I think I'll be okay. We'll see.
Number 10, elderberries.
Are you worried about some of the things you may have read or heard about cyanide in elderberries?
Elderberries might be a superfood when properly prepared, but raw or unripe, they're a natural poison cocktail. These deep purple berries contain cyanogenic glycosides compounds that release cyanide when metabolized. Ingesting
cyanide will hurt you badly, boy.
Uncooked elderberries, or even their leaves and stems, will likely lead to a rough night. Nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea are likely symptoms. In extreme cases, the berries could even put you in a coma.
These berries, you guys, have been used for years. There's no question about that.
Gotta cook them.
Oh, baby, I earned you today.
Yeah, you gotta cook them. That was funny.
5 p.m.
I
on
earned you
Tuesday. Don't you judge me.
But they have to be properly prepared before you consume them.
You gotta cook them.
Every part of this plant, you guys, is poison.
In 1983, a group at a health retreat in California learned this the hard way. Improperly prepared elderberry juice hospitalized 8 people with symptoms of poisoning. Cooking neutralizes the toxins, making elderberry safe for syrups and jams. But skip the DIY raw smoothie, unless...
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries.
Number 9. Sangnakji.
It has a big bulbous head.
This is the one I was telling you that it'll choke you to death.
Beady black eyes.
Nasty looking.
And 8 squirming
How would you want to
tentacles.
eat that?
It's the octopus.
This Korean delicacy is not for the faint of heart. This dish consists of live octopus, chopped into bite-sized pieces and served immediately. When your plate arrives at your table, the tentacles are still writhing.
Sometimes it's not just difficult, it's deadly.
The danger in this case isn't chemical, but physical. Those suction cups remain active. If sangnakji isn't chewed thoroughly, the cups can latch onto the throat and choke you. Every few years, several diners in South Korea suffocate after their daring attempt at sangnakji. The key to survival is to chew, chew, and chew again. While it's a favorite among thrill-seeking foodies, sangnakji is a meal that fights back. Number 8. Blood clams.
There's one clam that
These are
stands
so
out,
nasty.
not just for its
Yo, these are so nasty. I do not understand. If you have researched what these things are about, why would you eat them? These are the most disgusting things on the list, in my opinion.
unique appearance, but for the risks it carries.
On the outside, blood clams might look like any other unassuming mollusk. When opened, though, they reveal their blood red color, courtesy of being one of the few mollusks with hemoglobin. These clams have a well-earned and deadly reputation that has nothing to do with their looks. Unlike most shellfish, blood clams thrive in oxygen-poor waters. As a result, they must
Listen to how the blood accumulates into the clams. It's crazy.
filter massive amounts of bacteria-laden water.
Even today, some countries regulate or completely ban the harvesting and sale of blood clams to prevent public health risks.
This filtration means that they often harbor deadly diseases like hepatitis A and typhoid. In 1988, an outbreak in Shanghai linked to blood clams sickened nearly 300,000 people. Some countries have outright banned them, while others enforce strict regulations. Despite the risks, many still crave their briny, iron-rich taste.
I'm a man of
Yo, Will Ferrell is so funny. Both of them are funny. Step Brothers is one of my favorite movies ever. Fancy sauce.
Yes, of course. I just thought after the last time it was the and the merely a bout of stomach influenza. Yes, but the time before that, bad clams.
Number 7. Pongyum adole. Commonly known as kepayung, Pongyum adole is a tree native to Southeast Asia. The seeds in its fruit are a sought-after delicacy. They're also deathly poisonous, full of hydrogen cyanide. Traditional preparation methods involve boiling the seeds and then burying them in ash and banana leaves for about a month to detoxify them. This process
Burying them in ash and banana leaves for a month to detoxify them. How do people figure this stuff out? It's crazy.
makes them safe to eat and imparts a unique flavor. In Indonesian cuisine, these processed seeds, called kluwak, are incredibly popular. Rawon is an Indonesian beef stew with a distinctive black broth thanks to the help of kluwak.
These are the cured ones, which has been cured for 1 month underground. Burn it first to develop a bit of a smoky taste.
While pongyum is cherished in various culinary traditions, it's crucial to ensure proper preparation. Eating it raw could be a death sentence.
I spit it out because I trust Wikipedia when they tell me something is toxic.
Number 6. Physique.
But for many, the risk is worth the reward.
This ancient Egyptian holiday fish dish is not for the faint-hearted. The tradition
You notice all the dishes that they said were deadly like that came from the sea.
traditional meal features gray mullet fish that's been sun-dried and pickled in salt. The
And
fermentation process is where it's easy to mess up.
The most dangerous foods, not the most dangerous seafoods, but yet everything so far came from the sea.
But despite its smell, the fermented fish has become a staple of Egyptian culture And Ibrahim Shahim is proud to carry on making this traditional dish safe for all to enjoy.
The preparation is a precise art passed down through generations. One misstep could lead to your last meal. Every spring, during the ancient festival of Sham el-Nessim, Egyptians indulge in fasik. And every spring, the Egyptian Health Ministry warns its citizens about the high risk of botulism. So, if you're daring enough to try fasik, ensure it's from a trusted source. Number 5. Casu Marzu. Sardinia, the tiny island off Italy, is famous for its friendly people and beautiful beaches. It's also the home of Casu Marzu, or maggot cheese.
Si dice che è molto pericoloso, ma non lo è affatto.
This traditional...
Oh man, that is so disgusting. It's the first one that's not out of the water neither. That's bad.
sheep's milk cheese is infested with live larvae of the
I can't. Nah, man. Not even if it tasted amazing. And I don't see how it could. That's
Phila casei fly. The maggots break down fats, creating a soft, oozing texture. But here's the kicker. Those little wriggling guests aren't just for show. You're expected to eat them. If they die, the cheese is considered unsafe.
È una mosca che trasporta le larve, le inietta e da lì ne vengono fuori i vermi, che poi pian pianino vanno sempre in aumento, si riproducono.
If they do survive, they might make their next home inside of your guts. The EU banned the cheese, but locals still enjoy it in secret. So, if you're brave enough to take a bite, just know.
It's disgusting, man. Come on. I mean, like, that's if you starve, and that's different. You know, and even then, I would try my hardest to find something else. You know, like I said too, that's not me being turning my nose up on it. I'm sure anybody feels like that, almost anybody.
Oh, you might not be the only one doing the chewing.
How are those maggots?
Lost Boys.
Maggots, Michael. You're eating maggots. How do they taste?
Listen, it's called Connect Team, and it's insane. I don't do schedules or timesheets manually anymore.
And it works?
Oh, like you.
Number 4, hakutuk. Icelandic cuisine isn't for the faint of heart, and hakutuk, or fermented shark, is its ultimate test. This dish starts with Greenland shark, which, if eaten fresh, is poisonous due to high levels of trimethylamine oxide and urea.
The Greenland shark is the most toxic shark in the world. Fresh. Meat, you would get very sick. Then a little bit more, you could probably go blind. And then death after that.
To render the meat safe, it has to be buried in sand and left to rot for months before being hung to dry. The result is a pungent, ammonia-soaked, apparent delicacy that smells like a janitor's closet gone rogue. Even Anthony Bourdain called it the single worst thing he'd ever eaten.
I don't like the shark.
It's like ammonia.
Despite its gut-wrenching reputation, hakutuk remains
Why would you eat that? It's disgusting.
a proud Icelandic tradition. But if you're brave enough to try it, just be sure to keep a shot of Brennivin handy.
That tastes like cleaning product.
Number 3, ackee fruit.
It's called an ackee, and it happens to be one of the deadliest fruits in the world.
Jamaica's national fruit is a staple in dishes like ackee and saltfish. However, consuming it improperly can lead to Jamaican vomiting sickness. The unripe fruit contains hypoglycin A, a toxin that inhibits gluconeogenesis. What does that mean? Raw ackee can cause severe hypoglycemia. Symptoms include vomiting, altered mental states, and in some extreme cases, seizures, coma, or death.
What if I told you that the fruit many Jamaicans eat for breakfast every day also happens to be one of the most poisonous fruits in the world?
To safely consume ackee, it's crucial to ensure the fruit is fully ripened. You can tell it's ready when its pod naturally opens on its own. You must make sure to discard anything that isn't ripe, as well as the seeds, or run the risk of a trip to the hospital. Despite its potential dangers, when prepared correctly, ackee remains a beloved component of Jamaican cuisine.
That is, the key word is fresh. If I lived here and I would be able to have an ackee tree, I would be eating this every day, at least.
See, like that, I mean, it's natural. It's deadly though. But they're saying it looks like he's saying it tastes good, but still, it's not worth it unless, you know, God forbid you have to, you know, under certain circumstances, you have no choice.
This is probably like one of the most delicious things that I've had.
Number 2, cassava.
This plant has put a lot of people in hospital beds and even in graves.
A dietary staple for millions, cassava is a double-edged sword. This starchy root contains cyanogenic glycosides, which can release hydrogen cyanide when consumed raw or improperly prepared.
Wow.
The faintest smell of bitter almonds, telltale traces of cyanide.
Symptoms of cyanide poisoning include nausea, vomiting, dizziness, and potentially...
Look how big.
Lucy. Bad. Lucy. Bad.
What is it?
Lucy. Bad.
Primate.
death. Improperly prepared cassava is also responsible for the paralytic disease, konzo, which sometimes sees outbreaks in rural areas of Africa. To safely enjoy cassava, it's essential to peel, soak.
Cassava is crazy because that one sounds like really familiar, but like still I've never heard about this one. And I watched a little bit of the show earlier, but I've seen like the first three. After the blood clams or the like the maggot cheese, I hadn't seen that yet. This I haven't seen.
And cook it thoroughly, which removes the cyanide. Despite its potential dangers, when prepared correctly, cassava is a vital food source in many parts of the world.
Fill them with a stuffing, a good meat and something local. Cassava?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone...
Oh, let me make sure I hit the like button. Yes, I am definitely subscribed. Big shout out to mojo.com. Big shout out to everybody. Dr. Rashad Richey, Minutes of Horror. My man with the wingsuit. His name was Johannes Flight. I forget what it was, but it's early and I shouted him out already too. But big shout out to mojo.com.
Make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, fugu.
Fugu? The infamous pufferfish.
Japan's notorious pufferfish is the ultimate gamble. You may have one of the best meals of your life, or you may die. The fish contains tetrodotoxin, a potent neurotoxin that can paralyze and kill. Proper preparation is crucial. The toxin is heat stable and not destroyed by cooking. Only meticulous cleaning of the fish can render it safe.
Concentrate.
I want fugu!
I want fugu.
Fam.
It's that deadly. It's number 1.
Fugu-tastic.
That means that only licensed chefs with extensive training are permitted to serve it. Nonetheless, fugu
This I know about. I've heard of fugu before.
Consumption still leads to several poisonings a year, although these are often associated with amateur preparation at home. Some even result in fatalities. After scarfing down a plate of fugu, you may experience numbness, dizziness, and difficulty breathing. If so, you need a hospital immediately before you asphyxiate.
I can totally see why someone would risk their life to eat this.
Those of you who take certain medications know that grapefruit could easily star on this list. Are there any other deadly foods we should have added? Let us know in the comments below.
Did you...
All right, guys. So we're going to go to the next segment, which is this Florida cop who is, I didn't get to see all the way to the end, but he's a piece of crap, you know. And like I said, I want to see what happens because I didn't get to the part where he really plays himself. You know what I'm saying? But big shout out to Dr. Rashad Richey and the Young Turks. Make sure I hit like real quick. Oh, thumbs up. There you go. Let's go.
Yeah. I don't drink or do anything. Okay, no worries.
I can't hear what he's saying at the beginning.
No, I kind of need you to do it. This are you rolling car right here? Oh yeah. Can you roll? Yeah, I am. Okay. And your officer name? Stiltner. Badge number? FWC P528.
He doesn't look inebriated.
He's doing his job. This is why we're safe. Officer, how much longer is this test? A few more.
Wow, he tried to shout him out at the beginning. He said he's doing his job. That's why we're safe. He's trying to be really cool about this. He's giving him a test to see if he's sober, but you'll see.
Minutes. 2 more minutes? Yep. Just give me some time, brother. I'm with all my kids right now. I understand, dude. That's why we're doing what we're doing, brother. You don't smell alcohol in my breath. There's not 1 ounce of alcohol on the boat. Alcohol is not the only thing that causes nystagmus. What else does? Drugs. All right. Nope, sit back down. Sit back down. I got a few more tasks here for you if you're willing to cooperate with that. I'm not willing to cooperate. Okay. What more tasks would you ask of me? There are standardized field sobriety tasks that are going to help me determine your level of impairment. My level of impairment? Correct. And for what reason did you see that I would be impaired at all? One reason. Yeah, so stumbling with your fingers, trying to get those zippers open on your bag. When I told you to show me the gauge for the fire extinguisher, you weren't.
He said finger stumbling. Come on, guys. You serious right now? Big shout out to Donnie Rapture too, because that looks where it's got the label right there. It might be the original source.
Able to turn it to me without knowing. I had to ask you again to turn it towards me. I asked you multiple times for a bell, horn, or whistle. I said bell, horn, or whistle. And then you said, what's a bell horn? And I said, a bell, horn, or whistle. And you again said, what's a bell horn? And I said, bell, comma, horn, or whistle. Again, a few things that are a little bit off, plus you're having nystagmus with your eyes. So I just want to make sure that you're okay to drive.
Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission officer Jared Stiltner was reaching for straws during this exchange.
Just sit at the front of your seat, kind of like you're doing, feet shoulder width apart so you're comfortable and stable.
That's why too. Rick Strom. I thought it was Rashad Richey. It's actually Rick Strom. Rick Strom from the Young Turks is gonna break it down why it's even more egregious than it looks, because it looks like he's doing a sobriety test and it's not bad, but it's bad.
Stable? Are you stable where you're sitting right now? I think I am. I'm on a boat on the waters. Okay, that's fine as long as you're not falling back or anything weird like that, okay? You're gonna make a fist with both hands, extend your index finger, palms forward like that. Remain in this position while I explain the task. Do you understand that? Yes. When I say begin, you're gonna tilt your head back to a 45-degree angle, okay? You're gonna close your eyes. I'm not, okay? When I tell you to, you're gonna touch the tip of your nose with the tip of your finger and return it immediately back down to its side. I'm not paying attention, hold on. So you want me to go like this, you're gonna go back 45 degrees. I'm gonna close my eye. No, I'm gonna keep my eyes open or close my eyes. Okay, you're gonna close your eyes. Okay. Okay.
This is not something even a sober person would have an easy time dealing with, especially if they have attention problems. You get what I'm saying? Some people don't like to hear people. Like, he does not look drunk. He does not look anything.
So, okay. All right. I'm gonna close my eyes. No, not yet. Listen to the directions, okay? When I say begin, you're gonna tilt your head back to a 45-degree angle and close your eyes, okay? It's gonna look like this. All right, okay. That's a 45-degree angle, okay. And then you're going to close your eyes, okay? When I tell you to, you're going to touch the tip of your nose with the tip of your index finger and immediately return it back down to your side, okay? Yeah. So look, tip of your nose, okay? Tip of your index finger. Nope. Yeah. Stay in that position. You're going to touch the tip of your nose with the tip of your finger and immediately return it back down to your side, okay? When I say the tip of your nose, I mean the very tip, dime-sized portion on the very tip of your nose, okay? I get that. I'm not going to touch the side. Yep. Not the bridge, not the side, not underneath, okay? Look at me. When I say the tip of your finger, the very dime-sized portion underneath the fingernail, okay? Not the sides, not the pad of your finger. Yeah, you want the tippy top of the finger on the tip of the finger to the tip of the nose and return it back down. Do you understand? I do. Okay. Go ahead and begin for me.
Daughter's wedding is in a month. I don't want us to look like Beauty and the Beef.
Darling, relax. We have plenty of time.
Which one do you want? Tilt your head back to a 45-degree angle and close your eyes. All right, left. Right. I guess I keep my eyes open here, so I close my eyes, right? Keep your eyes closed. Yep. Left. Remember to maintain that 45-degree angle. Yep, that's good. That's 45? Yep, right.
Do you believe
right.
this?
and left. All right, so next I'm gonna have you do is palm pat. Say again. I have to advise them of their Taylor warning, which says I have to make my arrest decision based off the indicators that
You could tell already that he's not that he's sober. You could tell. What's wrong with him. Why is he still on him? Like that. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like there's times where I watch stuff and I'll watch it and commentate or whatever, but then there's times where it's like, yo, what's going on? I don't understand how this is right. And it's amazing that he's staying calm while I'm in the comfort of my own house and I'm getting frustrated. Come on, man. Like, come on. Like, how could you give people so much power? How could you give people so much power?
I've seen so far, and any declining to do the SFSTs can be held against you in court. Place your hands palm to palm. Nope, stay in that good, stable position for me. There you go. I'm gonna have you place your hands palm to palm with one hand up and one hand down. It's gonna look like that. Okay, remain in this position while I explain the task. Do you understand? I understand. When I tell you to begin, you're going to turn the top hand over and count out loud 1, then turn the hand back over and count out loud 2, counting only when the hands make contact. 1, 2, 1.
Let him get back to his family.
You're going to repeat this. Speed up as you go and do not stop until told. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. How long you want me? 1, keep going. Speed up. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Those tests are made to degrade you. I don't care what nobody says. I would have been like, yo, I would have told my wife, the kids are there. Maybe because the kids are there, I would have said, oh man, I'm gonna put up with this because of the kids. But there's a chance that my wife knows what it is. I would have been like, look, just call the lawyer. I'm not doing these tests. If he's gonna arrest me because I'm not gonna do these tests, then just get the lawyer on deck. I'll see you at the precinct, at the courthouse, or county. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I need some water. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, you can stop. Sir, what's your name? Officer Stiltner, Florida Fish and Wildlife.
This guy's playing himself, man. He asked for the water while he was doing the thing. It's not like a giant multitask, but you could just tell.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Sober.
When I say begin, you're going to perform 4 tasks.
Okay.
The first task is
any real person, even a cop, would have been like, you know what? I'm not going to finish this. I could tell you're sober. This is not even necessary. And if they would get at the guy because he don't complete the test, it's all rigged. It would be messed up if the guy says, if I don't complete this test, they're going to get mad at me because on the body cam, it shows I didn't complete the test. That's stupid. It should be, the cop should have the discretion to decide whether the finishing the test is even necessary or not. You know what I'm saying? Because this is ridiculous.
To count out loud from 1 to 4 while you move your fist in a step-like fashion.
In front of his family.
At your fist between each step. It's going to look like this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Put your left fist against your chest. Yep, stay right there. Don't move. Keep your feet where. Second task is to memorize the position of your fist after you've counted to 4. Clap your hands 3 times and return your fist to the memorized position, okay?
For the record, these tests, at an officer's discretion, have been proven to be falling short.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to have you to stand up for me. Yeah, put that one down. Turn around for me. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest.
All that, and he still arrested him. That's what I'm telling you. He made him clap like a seal and bounce the ball on his nose like he's a show animal. And then he still arrested him. If you put the man through that, the least you should have done was said, you know what, you're sober. But instead, you're a disgusting piece of crap, and you're going to lock him up.
You're under the influence, okay? Dude, I've not had a single thing. Well,
It may be shocking to find out, or not, that this man was dead sober.
You are going to get an opportunity to provide a breath sample, okay? Great. I will gladly do it. You won't be able to do that until you get to the jail, okay? Yep. And what are all my options right now?
So when we get to the jail, we'll discuss the rest of those options, okay? Right now, you have no options. Your options are you're going to go to the jail.
Okay.
For voting under the influence while normal faculties are impaired.
Okay. What normal faculties did I just pass or fail?
All of the things that I just did. So all of those tasks, your nystagmus in your eyes, the pre-indicators that I saw.
Now, anybody that's watching this, you know what it is. Come on. This is the type of stuff that goes on that it's not okay. You know.
On your vessel that we already discussed.
Didn't I just pass all those tests?
None. Excuse me?
When you're wrong with this, as you are, what happens?
I haven't been yet, but so if I was wrong, his charges will be dropped.
Sir, so
and you know what? You're going to get in deep shit.
Sir, so let me tell you something.
Probably not, but that's okay.
Sir, so, okay, if you Google me, I'm on Governor Ron DeSantis' council.
Okay.
Okay. If you reach out to the chief in...
Yo, listen, man, the lawsuit should be granted. Like, I would, if I was the judge, I would have, you know, it's supposed to be a process, systematic, whatever. Like, he won the lawsuit, in my opinion, already.
Jupiter, and you tell him you're with me. We were with him last night. He's Dan and Shay that's doing the concert tomorrow night. You could search me. You could search the house. You could search everything. I'm an elder at the church right down the street at Jupiter, at Family Church where his bus is parked.
Don't bother. He's not going to let you go.
Right now.
So it wasn't like you weren't doing anything at all. Correct.
I'm under the influence.
Based off of the interaction with you that I'm having right now, your normal faculties are impaired.
You're with the guy that's with his 3 kids and his friends are in town for one night. And the day that they're here, I'm trying to show them out. I'm trying to take them a good time. He's not drinking. I'm not drinking. None of us are under the influence. And I mean, it's ridiculous. Man, I live 10 houses away from here.
It's not a discussion.
So you said you have not been wrong yet, right?
Excuse me?
You said you have not been wrong yet.
Not yet, luckily.
No, congratulations. You're super wrong.
I hope so, brother.
Dude, you are. Like there's
I
nothing,
hope so, but listen.
What do you, look at me. Do you think that I'm someone that's going to be on what? On what sort of thing do you think I'm
I don't know you, brother.
No, not only that, you should stop, sir, because now my feeling bad for you is dropping, because you're naming names. You're talking about I'm with Ron DeSantis. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about do I look like a person? What does a person look like, bro? Like, well, I know there's people out there that be messed up, but still, now you're stereotyping. Like, yo, listen, he's not gonna let you go. Keep your dignity and handle your business the right way. All the other stuff is extra.
I don't know you.
Don't call me brother, because you're not my brother.
Not
you're
my brother. That's right.
Understand, I am for you. I am with you.
You shouldn't be.
Everybody. Like, this is, I've never
That's what
been
happens.
in my life. This is crazy, man.
This is what it takes for people to realize.
Company, and I serve on the
Look
state of Florida.
Look at how in shock he is. This is what this show is about. Like, this reminded me that I gotta stick somewhat to the stuff that I'm really passionate about. Like, I want people to not really worry about stuff, but you know what? You can't be like that. You got to make it where you bring it to the people. You don't care what they want. You understand? Like, you know that there's gonna be people out there that mess with you and people that don't. So the whole countdown stuff, like I did enjoy the dangerous foods, but it's not as important as exposing stuff like this. You know, like I said, sometimes people, they come in, right? They don't know me, just like he's saying they don't know each other. Like, y'all don't know me. So y'all come in, you have no idea who I am. You know what I'm saying? Am I worthy of being watched? Am I not worthy of being watched? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I just do my thing. You know what I'm saying? The truth, what things are, they can't help coming out. You understand? So eventually, like, if people are gonna know who I am. Now, if they mess with me or they don't mess with me, that's on them. But you know, the truth will come to light, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like, the reason I say what I say right now is because this man, I still feel bad for him, but it's almost like you're saying exactly the stuff that everybody says, that if I would have told them that this is the type of shit that happens, he would have stuck up for the cop. Until this happened, he wouldn't have agreed with me. Now, if I run into him and I'm like, yo, they be on some foul shit, he would be like, you're right. But before this, he would have probably fought tooth and nail for the cop. And the cop just crushed his belief in him. That guy no longer has no trust, no belief about the whole courtesy, professionalism, whatever bullshit.
Crying out loud, this is crazy. I'm in my church. Like, I'm the furthest thing from this, and you're arresting me for no reason.
I hope that that's the case. I don't know what else to tell you.
I hope that that's the case. You hope that he hopes that he's arresting him for nothing. That's what he just said. It's unbelievable.
Me not touching ever a drug, obviously zero alcohol.
Homie, save your breath. Homie, save your breath. You going. There's nothing you can say that's going to change anything. I've been realized that. I would have been, keep your dignity, bro. Don't say nothing. Don't give him the satisfaction. He's a piece of shit, and that's it.
Picture perfect. It's immediate and arrested in front of my 3 kids.
Listen, I've already...
The guy getting arrested is ready to be like, look at me. I'm so clean cut. I look like Enrique Iglesias. How could you arrest me? Like, cut it out already, bro. You're making yourself look bad. Just, he's doing what he does. Accept it. You're not gonna say one thing that's gonna make him change his mind.
Yeah, no. I know what you said. Like, I will make it my life's mission for justice to be served. Like 100%.
That I respect.
I just know that.
You know, that's what I've dedicated my life to that.
But no, but you're doing injustice, right?
You're doing injustice.
I hope that that's true. If that's true, then
How
I made a mistake, and then those charges will be dropped.
You see the bozos that they put in positions of power, right? I hope that's true. That you're taking away him from his family for no reason. That's what you're hoping is true.
Right now, I have to go based off of my experience and training, which says otherwise. You understand that?
No, I don't agree at all. Because
you don't have to agree. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're looking for a reason to show your power on your boat, and
I would have saved my breath, but I could respect this more than trying to get him to change his decision. At least the man knows it's not being changed. But now he's telling them, "I'm gonna get you." That I'm not too I don't want him to stop that as bad as I wanted him to stop the whole trying to like almost beg type shit. But this whole I'm gonna get you for this, that's on him. I wouldn't do that neither. I would just be quiet.
In front of others.
Trust me. This is the last thing that I want to do.
I don't believe that. I
promise. It's the last thing I want to do.
You can promise. I don't believe
I do not believe it
because it's not true.
And considering what we have seen on the subject, you should neither.
Hey, coach, you there?
This is the world's first mass-produced liquid-cooled superphone. Not only does it have dual forms of active cooling, but it also has the largest passive cooling vapor chamber of any smartphone we've ever seen, all for gaming.
These commercials, man, everything they show looks so good. I wonder if like some of the stuff is not what they say it is.
Hey, coach, I'm literally in handcuffs like Jesus being persecuted for completely nothing wrong.
See, that's what I mean. This guy just compared himself to Jesus. My man, it's not that serious. This is nothing like that. That's why he's making me like not feel bad for him.
The influence. Obviously, I don't do drugs. I did not touch an ounce of alcohol. We took our kids to let them build sandcastles. I spoke to John Maxwell on the boat for a little bit, and now we just went home, and I'm in handcuffs. Are you with the officers right now? Right in front of me. And I keep asking, how in the world am I being arrested for being under the influence? Like, give me a breathalyzer, search my boat, search everything. And they said that I was fidgety, that my eyes, that it's not that I didn't pass or fail the test, it's at their discretion, blah, blah, blah. What's the officer's name?
Stiltner.
Stiltner?
Ask him I should call Governor Jeb Bush.
Should he call
Put it in
Governor
reverse
Bush
for me.
or
We'll just anchor them here. I guess they're going to have somebody come out and get them. Okay. I don't have any more time to waste doing this. So if your friend's going to come get them, we could do that. Otherwise, we can call Cito, come pull your boat, give them a ride home, and then you could pay to get it out of the Cito impound lot. I'm an impairment task force member, so I've done a lot of these. I've done a lot of extensive training with this. This is kind of my specialty with the agency.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. This is his specialty, and yet he failed.
You got some friends in high places, buddy. The major was calling my lieutenant to see what was going on.
What does that matter if he has friends in high places? So what? That shouldn't even matter. If he was a penniless person and didn't know any politician in the world, he should have been let go because it was obvious he wasn't drunk or impaired. See, this is what I don't like. Like, I felt bad for the guy until it started to look like he could pull strings and stuff. And it's like, not everybody could pull strings. It should have just been based off of whether it was just or not whether he knows the governor. You got friends in high places. Were you contemplating doing something different now?
Oh, yeah. They trust our training, you know. They just wanted to be briefed on the situation, basically. Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of impairment factors that go into play when we do what we do. So all those field sobriety tasks that I went through.
I would have told him, shut up. I would have told him, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Do me a favor. It's my right to not have to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? You got, unless it's something official, like official business, you got to tell me about my rights or something. Don't talk to me. We don't got nothing to say to each other. We're not friends.
Yeah, I've done that 100 times, 100 plus times, and those are fairly accurate. I hope you're not, but I think you are.
Here's the result. The Tampa Bay Times wrote, Stiltner proceeded to take the man to Palm Beach County Jail, where he blew zeros on a breathalyzer. He was held there until 2:30 a.m. the next day. He later tested negative for drugs, the records would show. The man declined to speak further about the ordeal when approached by the South Florida Sun-Sentinel, as they should. Good journalists should do that, but asked that his name not be used. He is now seeking to have the case expunged, which he should, after prosecutors decided not to file any charge.
All right, man, you got the story right there. We're going to go to the next segment. This one is the Karens of the year. You know, I watched Dr. Rashad Richey a lot, and we're going to see what he got for us. I seen a little of it, but I didn't watch it in its entirety. Let me full screen it for you guys. Let me make sure I hit him with a thumbs up. Definitely, I would suggest subscribing to Dr. Rashad Richey and Rick Strawn.
All right. Put them up. Here are the candidates. We had you all vote on this prior to today. So did you pick the top one? So who did you pick for our 2025 Karen of the Year? Let's recap our candidates. Was it Playground Karen?
You call him a child? Call the child? It is my own business. You call him?
See, it went from funny to not funny real quick.
Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now?
It's a piece of crap. There's nothing you could do that could defend that. Nothing. She's calling a child the N-word with the hard ER.
Again. Say.
You don't go digging through people's
Somebody digging to.
A little just did, you dummy.
That little kid, you call him the little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna...
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech.
I have gotten every dime of my money. When I first found out that the park video was going viral, it was...
They gave that lady money for calling a child the N-word with the hard ER. You know, but of course it's other races. It's other, you know, you can't stop a piece of crap from giving money to another piece of crap. So don't feel bad about that. It is what it is.
It was terrifying. I went on X and I saw Anglo-Saxon Girl had posted my video. I messaged her and I was like, hey, that's me. Just kind of needing somebody like-minded to talk to. I did not realize
You should be ashamed of yourself. You're disgusting.
I was going to have so much support and have all of you people rally around me and have my back in this situation. And it was very overwhelming. I also just want to say how proud I am of everybody and just showing what can happen if we tribe up.
You know, it's crazy. I wouldn't even. The president called that newscaster, that reporter that asked him the question, Piggy, the other day. As mad as I am at her, I wouldn't say I hate her because I don't use the word hate. I would curse before I say hate, and I wouldn't call her Piggy. And we have a president that will call a woman Piggy just for asking her a question. Meanwhile, this lady called a child the N-word with the hard ER, and I still wouldn't I called it disgusting just a second ago, and I thought about whether I should have did it or not, and probably not, because when people do disgusting shit, you shouldn't stoop to their level. But I'm still growing, even at 49 years old. Let me tell you something. If you would have known me when I was young, even when I was 20, 22, 25, I was wild. And I mean wild. But you grow up, you change. You can't be a kid forever. It's got to get to the point where you can show children and young men and young women guidance. What you want to do? Act like a fool till you're 40? Not that all young kids. Some kids are mature, and some kids, it's expected. Any smart adult would give kids or young adults some leeway because they know they haven't learned yet. You get what I'm saying? But and I don't know her age, but for this, there's no you can't use age for an excuse for her.
And if we stick together and if we keep fighting back
together, the racism,
our
really?
future, our existence depends on standing up for ourselves.
She said stick together like it's unity. Racism, stick together with racism. It's separatism. Oh my God, I was about to do it again. But she's an idiot though. Like, name calling, it's all right to call her an idiot. I just wouldn't really get too crazy with it. But she's an idiot. She's talking about unity and separatism. She's an idiot.
And not backing down. And we just have to keep on going. There's no other option. I mean, what else are we going to do? You can't be afraid of words. Don't be afraid of the people who are so fragile to a word.
On January 1st, we're starting AI challenge for people.
How stupid she is. It's not a word. It's the word. That's one of the most disgusting words ever used in the history of mankind. And you can't come out and be like, they call each other it. It's not the same thing. It's a term of endearment when they talk to each other. You understand? Like, people are they just don't make no sense, man. This is like the whole, when people say Black Lives Matter, or they say White Lives Matter too. Yeah, but white people aren't getting gunned down while they're unarmed. You get the difference?
Stupid. Over 30 disappear from social media and do this.
That's one. That was a doozy. Remember, we covered that and even had updates about her raising money and all kind of craziness because racist individuals decided to utilize her as their proxy for racism as well, living vicariously through her because she had the courage to call a toddler the N-word.
You see what I mean?
Or did you vote for the Karen that went after our dear sister, Portia Williams?
Love your story.
Why didn't we hear my side of the story first, sir?
Well, I had another officer.
Oh, okay. Well,
spoke to you, but I just want to hear it
and do you
personally.
think it's proper to me tell you the whole story where everybody's sitting around here, they can all hear it?
No, ma'am. If you want to be private.
I think we should be private,
Okay.
sir. This is an assault
Okay, you
matter.
want to come over?
Yes. I was sitting in my seat. She was the last passenger to come on board. So when she came on board,
Atlanta, Georgia is in the eastern
she said, I'm in that seat. I said, no problem. I jumped up, got far away from her so she had plenty of room. She had to put stuff in the upstairs thing. I understand that. Took plenty of time. Sit back down. We never spoke other than that. And after about 25 minutes of her on Instagram, full blast, every time she would flip, because apparently it was from a loud place, I jumped because it was so loud. And so I waited 25 minutes, give her time, let her do whatever she needed to do. And then I said, am I going to have to listen to that the whole time? And she said, do you like it? And I said, no. And she said, well, I don't like the way you asked me. I said, don't put this on me. And the next thing I know, there was a fingernail so close to my eye that I thought I was going to be physically attacked. She
sit close to her eye and she touched herself. You just admitted that it never touched you.
had her, I don't want to do it to you, sir. She had her hands in my face, screaming, calling me crazy. On and on and on. So now the flight attendants can't come help me because they're strapped in for this takeoff. My phone is sitting against my leg on my lap. So I take it to video to try and protect myself. And as soon as I go like this, she takes her hand and goes like that and throws my phone. And everybody sees the phone go down the end of the whole airplane. And the flight attendant told me he saw her knock it out of my hand.
Oh.
And that's assault. And
So
I'm
she
70 years old.
So she actually knocked the phone off your hand.
You're damn right she did.
What happened?
So the lady who was sitting next to me, I was on my phone and the volume was up on the phone. So she was like, are you gonna make me listen to that? I said, well, do you want to? And she said, no. I said, well, it was a nicer way to say that. And she said, bitch, you don't tell me bitch. And I was like, you okay? I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just
Yeah, I don't know if I would have chose this one because there's been way worse ones in my opinion. But this is when you can tell that the lady was actually wrong, because up until then it's her story versus her story. But as the interview continues, you see people come up to her and say what the lady did was wrong. You know.
telling him what happened.
I'm so sorry.
It's all
If
right.
there's anything I can do to help you.
You were sitting near us?
I was.
Yeah, I was just telling
I was
him.
there and I heard it was unreprehensible. The woman got in your face and gave you the middle finger.
Yeah.
And was doing things that were completely chaotic to you.
She started screaming.
I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
That's why I'm asking if you're okay.
Yes.
She's a sweetheart because not only did she let the cop know that the lady played herself, she's being sincerely kind. That's what's up.
No, I appreciate it.
We need more people like that instead of the other lady and the person we saw before her. That's how you're supposed to be.
I wouldn't be able to.
I mean,
That's what's up.
I don't know what she's claiming. She's gonna press charges saying that I hit her. I'm like, I did not hit you.
You want to continue? You want to continue, ma'am?
Sorry.
Can you excuse me?
Okay, can I get your information? Can you get your information as a witness?
Sure.
Yeah, please. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I was sitting 2 rows back.
Look at this.
She did not touch
No,
me.
that's what I'm saying.
You saw everything happen?
Yes.
Yes.
The guy's seat had his seat reclined before the flight even took off, and I saw the entire gap. She did not touch
You didn't touch her.
She's
See, let me tell you something. That lady, even if let's say she slapped the phone out of her hand, they're saying that the lady was being way worse than she was being by far. That lady's ready to put her in jail. So thank God they rolled up so they could be on some, she didn't do what that lady's saying, so that she doesn't have to go through the jail experience. Because the jail experience is no joke. And that doesn't, let me tell you something. It's worse when you do a stint, when you spend time there. Anything, when you, listen, if you don't get bailed out before you leave the bookings, it's a different experience. But even being booked is bad.
I can tell you, she did not. I could see her.
I can write my info down.
The first rule of learning Spanish: don't
Even
study
being
it,
booked
use
is
it. You just need to speak with a native.
Sucks too.
With Learna.
It's rare that strangers who are not involved
Man, Dr. Rashad Richey,
will
such a good
decide
dude.
to stand up for you because somebody has accused you of wrongdoing.
Yes.
But these individuals were not involved. They simply were good people who saw what actually happened.
A matter of fact, we seen the wildlife officer act stupid with that guy. He arrested him even though he was sober. Now imagine if she would have got a cop like the wildlife officer. Now you got a Karen and a bad cop, both against you. She would have needed those people that were sticking up for her badly. It seemed like the cop was decent, thank God.
Big ups to Portia Williams. She's really a sweet person. Maybe you voted for Beverly Hills, Karen.
Say it again about us getting back. What else?
Got it?
What else?
Trump is doing good things. You guys,
Yeah.
you guys kill people. Take your $50 and suck.
How racist could you be? She's horrible with it. Just N-words flying out left and right.
I'm rich, you're poor. Difference.
You're poor of soul.
Yep, poor.
You're poor of soul.
Yo, Bugs, I'm gonna extend the show. I'm gonna keep it going for a little while. So it's all right if he runs around or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna end up cracking the door, that's fine too. All right.
You wanna report me, bitch? Report me? I didn't touch you, bitch. Up. Give me my keys.
You just give her.
Get the out my made a mistake. Like, with my mouth, I'm the farthest thing from racist. Like, is this what you guys wanted from me? You guys are affecting everybody in my life right now.
You too worried about trying to be pretty, and you over here ugly on the inside. You need to fix that first. You know, for women out there, don't think that a man don't care about, first of all, I'm not even speaking on if she looks good, and I'm just saying, like, you could tell she cares a lot about whether she looks pretty or not. Now, you should worry more about how you are on the inside. There aren't, there's dudes out there like birds of a feather flock together. You get what I'm saying? So if two knuckleheads meet and they're opposite sex, then there's a chance, it could go down. But most dudes that are good people, any real good guy, he's gonna look at you and he's not gonna care if you're super pretty. If you're gonna be a piece of crap, he's not gonna mess with you if he's smart.
Like, I am taking accountability, like, full. Like, please, enough. I'm going to apologize to the man that grabbed my ass. I don't even care.
The world's smallest violin.
I look up the commentary I made back when it happened. Or was it the most viewed Karen video of the year? Here it is.
You the bitch!
I'm gonna stop this one too. I don't even know what happens here, but the reason I'm gonna stop it is because the lady gets hit. Now, I'm almost certain Dr. Rashad Richey wouldn't show what you're about to see if something really bad didn't happen before that. But like the lady gets hit. I'm gonna skip ahead because I know there's people out there that they will be like, wow, like that was and if it bothered me when I saw it, and I'm the kind of guy that watches banned from TV type stuff, you get what I mean? So I know if it was like, yo, this is really violent, and it's a woman getting pummeled, I'm not gonna show it. But like I said, she probably did some horrible stuff because I don't believe in women being hit. I don't even care if they're wrong. You understand? The only way I would understand a woman getting hit is if it's self-defense, like, you got to be careful because she might grab a knife and like that type stuff. But yeah, nah, you don't touch a woman. You don't touch a woman. Now, he more than touched her. I'll give you a little description because I spared you the actual visual. And trust me, you didn't want to see it. Especially if there's a woman watching right now. You weren't going to want to see that lady get pummeled by that guy. But I still don't understand what that was. I'm going to have to look it up because I'm hoping he explains it right now.
It's something that we overlooked in that video.
Yeah, see?
You notice that when the white male was on the ground, he said, I love you.
Oh, no.
My point is, there's more than one way to get there.
Yeah, like he hits the lady and he hits the guy. So when he hits the guy at one point, he hits him real good. And the guy, he punches an I love you out of him. Like he punches him, the guy feels the force and he reverts to, instead of being aggressive and nasty, he says, I love you to the guy. Where was that at the beginning? That's what Dr. Rashad Richey was just saying right there. It was like there's more than one way to get there. That's what Dr. Rashad Richey just said. But I don't understand what happened where the lady getting hit like that. It seems like it was just they're making it seem like it was justifiable. But I don't know what happened beforehand, so I don't even want to speak on that.
We do not condone violence. Indisputable. That was self-defense.
Something really bad.
Okay. Before we announce the winner, here are some honorable mentions. Here it is.
Oh, the Cinnabon lady. You guys might have seen this lady.
Oh, you're gonna put it on the internet. That's
That's not her.
I am
Her.
racist. And you are. Go back to
She came out and said it. She said, "I am racist."
the plantation, boy.
Everybody sleep right now.
What are you?
What, a fat black bitch?
And that's why their culture is. Okay, I know.
You know, I meant to tell you. Matter of fact, let's watch the segment first. I'll say it after the segment.
I don't care, and I don't care that your culture is up. There's no truth in it. You can black hair from out of here. You come back and get my hand.
Disgrace.
Why you saying that for? Turn around.
Above broke price because people like their steel.
The Disgrace Awards.
Now that Trump thankfully has removed DEI from the workplace, I'm wondering if this will stand in the literary world.
I don't get it's that families are being separated if somebody's getting deported. I actually find it hilarious.
No. Everything is racialized, just like you're trying to do to me now.
Oh, she's the worst.
He's like,
Andrea, I'm not even touching your hair, bitch.
So you just hit my car and I'm asking you for what's up. Can I have your insurance information, please?
That's the funniest. Like when they do. You guys remember Wife Swap when the Bible thumper lady would scream? I forgot what she would scream. But yeah, there's an episode of Wife Swap where there's this real kooky lady on and she talks religion, but she screams like the lady that just looked like she blew her top.
Please! No. I have both talked to you about speaking Spanish in my costume. You don't turn off the body cam, you have to turn it off, and that's your protocol.
She's a lawyer, so she knows.
Well, that's lawyer stuff.
Well, a nurse, and when you come through my hospital, don't worry, I'll let you die.
Oh, no!
What do they call it? Montage. This is a good montage. I'm ready to rewind it to the beginning.
America, you're the minority as a white motherfucker in America. Some immigrants here and you can get everything you want.
Getting back what the enemy stole. This is my battle cry.
What are you gonna do about it?
Wants nothing.
You are Karen.
Can we see that again?
And you can get everything.
Here we go. Here we go.
You are Karen.
Yeah.
She spit in my face.
I beat your ass because you spit on me, you bitch ass.
Yo, that's another thing, man. Don't spit, man. Come on, man. Keep your spit in your mouth. You know, your parents ain't raised you better. Be spitting on people, man. Use your hands if you got to. You know what I'm saying? People have way more respect for a person that would throw up his hands instead of spit. That's why there's boxing. You don't see a sport where you spit at each other, do you?
This dude is peeing on our car. I'm gonna assume that this. We're just in the using the bathroom. I don't know who you are, so that's.
You hear the music?
Yeah, though. You couldn't wait till I came out the stall.
That white boy. I bet.
Look at this. Ride your bike, you.
Oh, Instant Karma. I remember him. Look at his glasses. He falls. There we go. Instant Karma.
There you have it. And by the way, all of their cousins run the White House currently. Okay, so to my dear brother, which one do you think the audience voted as number one for the top 5? What you got, brother?
It's got to be the playground, Karen. I mean, like, because she became a millionaire basically off of doing something that she just felt like doing in the moment, which obviously was racist, but that was her lucky day. You know, sometimes karma works in reverse. We don't know if it'll hit her negatively at some point.
Yeah, that bothered me. He always brings this dude up to talk. I don't know his name. My apologies. But big shout out to homie right here. You already know how I feel about Dr. Rashad Richey. And let's see what the gentleman has to say. Like I said, I used to, when the segment was over, I would go on to the next segment and not let the person he brings up speak. But we're going to change that. Let's see what homie got to say.
Probably will. Hopefully she stacks up that money. But in the world we live in today, you could do something like that and people will support you online. They may give you $500,000. They may give you $700,000 like this woman. But just the whole.
Like I said, you can't let the whole a hater or a piece of crap giving another hater or a piece of crap money mess your head up. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Birds of a feather flock together, and they are birds. That's what we used to call bozos. This dude's a bird.
Whole thing, you know, it's like it never dawned on her that, I mean, even if she didn't call the child, you know, the N-word, if she would have called him an a-hole or whatever else, it was inappropriate. It wasn't nice. And it's typically not something that you should do to a child. But then again, it just shows the state of the nation that we're in, such that there's so many people who care so much about their right to, you know, be disruptive and their right to be racist outwardly and openly, that they'll donate money that they probably don't have to someone like her. So yeah, it's got to be her. It's got to be her.
And I will say this to your point, to add to your point, while she may not readily or right now feel the heat from this because racist people are supporting her, you know who will feel the heat? Her child, because she claims to be a mother. And that child will likely not have the same attitude she does. And this mother has memorialized this moment forever. And at some point, she has to reconcile with this. And you know, and I know this, brother, $900,000 isn't the jackpot if you can't get employed anywhere else for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that'll run out quick in this economy.
Exactly.
$1 million ain't what it used to be.
Ain't what it used to be, brother. All right. So put it up. Full mass.
Yes.
That's right. Your winner by a landslide, ladies and gentlemen, Playground Karen, a.k.a. Miss Shiloh Hendricks. You were right, dear brother, and you were right for all the right reasons. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who participated in voting. Big ups to the producers who were able to get that out in advance. But that is your, put it back up. This is your Karen of the year. That's not an easy
goes the Karen
thing to earn. Karen. Highly competitive.
The worst. All right, guys. So we're gonna go on to the next segment. All right, like I said, this is multiple stories. This is one of my favorite channels. You know, like I said, I don't believe every single thing that I hear when I'm watching this, but it's just one of my favorite things to watch. All right, people, let's get into it.
Let's think about it. We definitely have quite a few things to talk about today. For example, I'm noticing something very.
This is a little older because I've seen all the recent ones lately. So I had actually missed one from like a couple weeks ago, and we're gonna watch it right now because it don't even matter if it's not up to date. It's still the bomb.
Strange about the moon. And then, of course, we have some very disturbing AI news. And then we have information about a tick that for the very first time ever, somebody has passed away due to something it was carrying. But before we go ahead and get into any of that.
Yeah, I cannot mess with ticks. What is it again? Fleas. Ticks and fleas. Keep them away from me, bro. They are so dangerous. Lyme disease is bad, you know. You know, it's crazy how something so small could mess you up like that. I landed in a hospital over a spider bite. I was in the hospital for 4 days at risk of getting my foot cut off if the infection wouldn't have responded to the antibiotics. So, yeah.
I finished, I wanted to come back here to Israel and let you know that I serve you as the mayor.
I could respect this, but I don't mess with Eric Adams.
But I want to continue to have the title that's more important to me than anything. I'm your brother. Thank you.
At what point does it stop becoming a conspiracy theory? I'm just saying. I'm not bashing anybody, not insulting anybody, but at what point do we say it's no longer a conspiracy theory? What's going on here? And this is the New York City ex-mayor Eric Adams, the same Eric Adams, along with the NYPD commissioner Edward Caban. It was announced that they became high-ranking Freemasons. But do we ever see any other United States politician going to any other country telling the people of that country, I serve you? I mean, have we? And I think the perfect word to describe this is askewed. For one, I like the word. You really don't hear many people saying it. And two, it just fits here. And I'm going to ask you all in the comment section, what is happening here? Before we go ahead and get into any of that, I do have to ask you all a question because something has been really bugging me. But am I the only one that has been seeing the Cheshire moon, the Cheshire cat moon, the wet moon every single month this year? I took this photo late last night and I went to research it further, and I can't get any definite information on when it's supposed to be seen. Some websites say that it's supposed to be seen in the evenings during the spring, March, April, May, and in the mornings during the fall, September, October, November. But I've also seen it in June, July, and August as well. Some websites even say that in the Northern Hemisphere, where I'm from, you're only supposed to see it in March, April, and May. See it in March and August as well.
I wanted to read this real quick. In the evenings during the spring and in the mornings during the fall, for mid-northern latitudes, the crescent moon is oriented in such a manner so as to resemble a smile or a boat with horns or cusps of the crescent pointing straight up.
Some websites even say that in the Northern Hemisphere, where I'm from, you're only supposed to see it in March, April, and May. But
while the specific timing depends on your latitude, it is most commonly seen during the evening in the spring months for those in mid-northern latitudes.
What made me want to talk about this was that I was browsing X and I ran across this post, which was uploaded yesterday. This person said the second moon, and
now you know why I watch this channel. That looks wild. Don't know if it's true, but if that occurred, explain that.
Right next to the full moon was the Cheshire moon that I keep seeing every month. So what's really going on? And let's also not forget that we are being gaslit like crazy lately when it comes to all the news articles that are circulating by news and media talking about how Earth has a second moon. They say it's a quasi moon, an asteroid, but they have been really ramping up those talks lately. So when more and more people start seeing the second moon or moon phases that don't belong during certain times, or the moon appearing in the sky during times it should not appear, people just say, oh, that's just the quasi second moon news and media have been telling us about. Do your research, do your homework. Same old song and dance. People will see something they've never seen before in their life. News and media will feed them some BS. They'll buy it because NASA said so. Just like we saw in Barack Obama's.
You think they're trying to put it in our heads that there's a second moon because they're playing games up there? Drop a comment.
Scripted movie Leave the World Behind, obey NASA, and people.
This movie is good, but let me tell you something. Now that I've watched it a second or third time, it was even better the second time.
I mean, here's another content creator into the rabbit hole who on May 2nd, 2025 made a video talking about this topic, and she found where it says that it appears predominantly in January and February.
So it's technically a phase of the moon, but from our perspective, it's usually on the side. And in the charts, it's on the side, right? So I did some digging. So here we are. The term wet moon refers to the crescent moon's appearance when it's oriented in a way that looks like a smiling face or a bowl, suggesting it might be holding water. So a Cheshire cat smile. This occurs mostly prominently in late January and February. Last night was April 30th. It is May 1st, and I guarantee that moon still looks like this.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44. This is a first look at the current industry-leading AI app builder, and you wouldn't believe the...
See, like I was looking at this Base 44 thing before. It's an app builder.
kind of apps that people are creating. Smart nutrition apps, inventory trackers, onboarding tools.
Hey, people, you know, you should look into it. You never know.
Okay, so the Earth's slight tilt causes the angle of the crescent moon to change, leading to these different appearances. This means that wet moons are more common near the equator and become less frequent as you move further north. I live in Philadelphia. I mean, it's not Canada, but it's pretty north.
But yeah, I just wanted to ask you all, has anybody...
You know, they have machines they sell. These are big, giant machines, right? And if you've seen the machine, you'd be like, what is that? And it's a sun duplicator or something like that. And what it does is, what I believe it does is it shoots up a projection into the sky to make people believe there's a second sun. Now, I'm not certain on that, but I did see the report and I did see the machine. You know, if it really is capable of doing that, I don't know. Technology is crazy right now. I keep telling you guys that the whole quantum thing is gonna blow people's minds. People already know about quantum and they know the power it has. This is why when we pick our leaders, we got to pick them as correctly as possible. Voting is important. You know, I don't know if it's rigged or not rigged, whatever, but I'm just saying, if it's not rigged, voting is very important right now, because there's going to be a lot of power in technology, and you don't want the wrong person in charge of that power. Trust me.
I've also been noticing the Cheshire moon every month as of 2025. I get it happens during certain seasons, but every month is a little weird now. So on my last video on Seconds of Horror, I had spoken about how there's an app coming out called Two Way, very interesting name. It's being created by a former Disney Channel star, Callum Worthy. And basically what it does, let's say Meemaw or Peepaw, they do not have much longer left to live. So what they can do is they can go ahead and take a photo or video of themselves on this app, and the AI will take over and pretty much create an avatar of their likeness, even right down to their voice, their expressions, and so forth. So when they
that's wild.
do pass away, it's basically like they did not. So you can still talk to them on the phone.
That's crazy.
For many generations to come. There are many of us that...
I just finished telling you guys technology is going to make it where you're going to want to have the right person in office. And then he came with this, where they have technology where you'll still be able to talk to somebody even after they pass on, even though it's going to be an AI powered version of them. It's wild, man. Technology. I was talking to my wife the other day, and I said, technology, people don't understand what's coming. And I said, I wish I was younger. That's how amazing what's coming is going to be. You know, the technology is going to go to a point where people are not going to believe what it could do.
Believe this is demonic, including myself. You're not talking to your relative that passed away. You're basically talking to an AI Ouija board that now has your relative's form. Then you have others out.
That's my man, though. The guy who does the commentary for Minutes of Horror. You know, he has Minutes of Horror, Seconds of Horror, and Hours of Horror. So you could go check him out. But he's the best. You know, so he believes in the conspiracy stuff a touch more than me. But, you know, people aren't carbon copies of me. I don't expect the same that I believe and I do from other people
out there that support this. And they'll say, well, if you find this evil, this is nothing more than satanic panic. It's a big nothing. But if you notice, if you find any piece of technology, new technology, to be evil, the first thing they'll throw out is satanic panic. But the difference happens to be is that the creators of Dungeons and Dragons and so forth.
That's the first time I heard that, satanic panic.
They didn't call their product, their game, demonic. These creators of these AIs and these technologies, they're flat out saying it's like summoning the devil. It's a demon. It's like a tsunami of demons. So for us as the public that are saying that these technologies are demonic, it's absolutely wrong. It's satanic panic. But then you have the creators of these technologies themselves calling it demonic. Like, it makes me so angry. I want to say a curse word like nutter butter. Like, I can't with these people. So now what happens next, right? Now we have people talking to the dead, but now we have news articles going out like this one from Axios.com, which was published on November 12th. Meet chatbot Jesus. Churches tap AI to save souls and time. Are you serious? Now, I'm the first one to tell you, I do not trust a lot of these churches out here. Matter of fact, I made plenty of videos.
Yo, that guy looks weird, bro. Like, he looks definitely demonic, you know. And like I said, I'm just saying visual appearance. It is what it is. I'm not saying ugly, nothing like that. I'm just saying he has a demonic look to him. Now, I don't know if this is the guy that his eyes even look demonic, but listen, man, a person that really loves people because of religion, you know what I'm saying? Like a person who really cares about people and they really believe in God and they really want to help the poor, they're selfless. You know, like sometimes I go like this while I'm talking. Like I really do it because I have stubble. I don't do it to show off my rings. You know, I'm aware that I wear my rings when I go live. So I wear my jewelry when I go live. So you know, not that I can't go live without it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like I'm always going out. You know, I put it on so I could look nice. But I don't do this to show off. But what I was saying is that you see some of these preachers, and they have on $5,000 suits. $50,000 worth of jewelry on, $100,000 worth of jewelry on, driving a Bentley. Then they have, but this is what I'm talking about. Let's say there was a minister out there that had a pinky ring, or, you know, even 2 rings, 3, even 3 rings, and they were cost a little bit. That don't mean nothing, but it's when it just don't stop. You got 17 Bentleys in the garage. It's a little hard for me to believe that you care about homeless people when you got 17 Bentleys in your garage. It's just what it is. Call me crazy. People know. Real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? And when a person's fake, it's not hard for me to realize that the person's fake. You know? And in my opinion, if I was a preacher that had that much stuff, all you would see was me giving away money all the time, because I'm not gonna have all that stuff and not have at least given away the equivalent of it. So if I got $1 billion worth of cards, I'm gonna at least give away $1 billion. And you can't give away $1 billion without people noticing. So, you know, stop with all the in the movie Religulous. Right now, Bill Maher is a little bit under fire, or maybe a lot under fire, you know, and people are calling him out on hypocrisy. So I remember Mike Tyson was on his show and he tried to say something slick, and Mike Tyson checked him real quick. But Mike Tyson kept it. I'm glad Mike kept it. He didn't get angry. You know what I'm saying? And then recently Chappelle said, "Oh no, actually no. Oh no, it was. Yeah. Chappelle unloaded on Bill Maher, but Bill Maher got a documentary called Religulous, and he runs up on a preacher who has tons of expensive items, and he pulls his card on it, and there's nothing you could say. There's nothing you could say when he does it."
Videos talking about just that, but I trust AI even less. Continue to read the article. It says a new digital awakening is unfolding in churches where pastors and prayer apps are turning to artificial intelligence to reach worshipers, personalized sermons, and powered chatbots to resemble God. Why it matters: AI is helping some churches stay relevant in the face of shrinking staff, empty pews, and growing online audiences. But the practice raises new questions about who or what is guiding the flock. New AI-powered apps allow you to text with Jesus or talk to the Bible, giving you the impression you are communicating with a deity or an angel. I'm sure a lot of these people are indeed communicating with an angel, just not the angel they think. Because this is my own personal opinion that this is indeed fallen tech. It's been here for a long, long time, much longer than any of us realize, much longer than what they are telling us.
I wouldn't involve religion with technology. Whatever happened to God hears you. You understand? Like a lot, every preacher I've ever run into, ever saw, said God hears you no matter what. So what do you got to involve technology for? It's a contradiction, you know. Well, but not saying like to get to people. Like they're utilizing. He was saying also that they're utilizing technology to reach people. That's different. But I don't need Chat GPT to talk to God. You know, all I need to do is talk out in the open if I want to talk to the religion I believe in, whoever my God is. When I speak out in the open, he, she, whatever it is, hears me, you know, and that's how I look at it. I was raised Catholic, and I don't really put much thought to it. You know, let me tell you something. In the face of danger, in the face of death, and you're gonna talk to God. You know, I've been in a spot where I thought I was gonna go. First thing I did was start talking, saying, God, please don't let this happen. I know an atheist that when things got that bad, he started talking to God. Not because I said anything, nothing. He told me about it. He said, yo, Spank, he was like, things got real bad. And he said, I started talking to God, you know, and I'm not saying he still talks to him to this day or whatever, but when in the face of severe problems, in a case of major despair, he started speaking to whoever God was to him. So, you know, I just like, you know, I don't think people should hurt each other in the name of religion. I don't think people should be so extreme when it comes to religion. And that's just how I feel.
Honestly think Sora 2, OpenAI, Grok, and all these chatbots we think are just mind-blowing technology.
This is going to be the last segment, just so you guys know. We're going to be on for about another, like, tell you right now, about another 20 minutes, and then
I honestly think this
I'll be
is new
saying
technology
goodbye.
for the so-called powers that be, the so-called elites that play with these demons. But it gets even better. Listen to this. Other apps can create personalized prayers, let you confess your sins, or offer religious advice on life's decisions. So you can go ahead and tell them all the bad things you're doing, and you don't think it's going to go back to a certain people. Come on, stop. And it's just going to go back and feed the beast once the digital ID rolls around. All that bad information you were telling your chatbot is now going to be.
The article says, meet chatbot Jesus. Churches tap AI to save souls and time. Other apps can create personalized prayers, let you confess your sins, or offer religious advice on life's decisions. What could go wrong? Robert P. Jones, CEO of Nonpartisan Public Religion Research Institute, sarcastically asks.
Stored in your digital ID. So when you go for anything, a job, even if they're still around, I don't know if jobs are still going to be around in the future, a loan or so forth, they'll look at your digital ID and say, well, you confessed to your chatbot that you did such and such. I don't think you're the right person. The Text with Jesus app allows users to embark on a spiritual journey and engage in enlightening conversations with Jesus Christ, according to the app's website. The app also gives users the option to talk with other biblical characters, including Mary, Joseph, Judas, and even Satan. If you're a Christian, what are you going to say to Satan as you're texting back and forth? Why do you do the things you do? You better stop it, mister, or I'm going to take off my belts. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I do see people using these apps because, again, like I said in my other video on Seconds of Horror, we live in an idiocracy society. Idiocracy, Black Mirror, Twilight.
See, like my hands were up right there, like going like this. I didn't notice it. I did not do it on purpose. I don't need to. It's gonna happen. So I don't gotta really think about it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really care about you guys seeing my jewelry like that. Not at this point in my life. You understand? You know, I do throw on my little shine or whatever, but you know, it's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Let me tell you something, man. Rappers, like I'm a rapper, first of all. First, before anything, I'm a rapper. Like, for anybody who don't know, like, I spit pretty good, I would say. You get what I'm saying? But, opposed to how rappers really be flexing, I don't flex like that. I don't flex like that. Not at all.
Zone, they live. They are all documentaries. They're all real. Oh, and get this. You know how in a lot of my videos that talk about these pastors when it comes to money, it's all about money at the end of the day? Well, a San Jose, California-based megachurch, Pastor Ron Carpenter, has even created an AI app promising one-on-one personalized interactions with a bot version of him. So it's not the real guy. But
for $49 per month, this is insane. Let me tell you something. Even if you guys, let's say I blew up, right? If I started making money with YouTube like that, then I wouldn't put myself behind a paywall. I wouldn't honestly, never that. Especially not if it's to the point where like it's where I'm getting that many views. You know what I'm saying?
But a bot version of him for $49 per month. Please. I wouldn't even pay 49 cents to talk to this man one-on-one. Better yet, you couldn't even.
The only way I put myself behind a paywall is if I was gonna take the money and give it to people who were less fortunate, and that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like I would document that shit. I don't play those games like that. And what I was gonna say, yeah, I would not put myself behind a paywall. But if it was to the point where people didn't mind, and I knew that it was that's yeah. First of all, the paywall would be like cheap, and I wouldn't even do it. I wouldn't do it for that. I would just take it out of what I make off of the regular videos. We trying to help people. Like I'm not trying to be like any fake preacher out there, none of that. Like I'm out here really trying to help people. I've already helped people. I just don't really go into like I could literally go into like a detailed moment where I parted with a chunk of change. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not doing that. I do like the channels where they give away stuff, but a lot of them are set up. You understand what I'm saying? Like guy says he's gonna give away $50,000 and it's set up, it's fake, a lot of it. I'm not saying that there's not sincere ones out there, but because if I did it, first place I'm gonna go is to Broadway and Myrtle in Brooklyn. Yeah, it's the borderline of Williamsburg, Bedford-Stuyvesant, and Bushwick. That's the first place I'm going if I'm gonna help people out. You know what I'm saying? Because over there, it groups up. And there's a lot of people over there that are out there making moves, trying to get money and help. And there a lot of people are down and out over there. Not everybody, you know what I'm saying? But the first place I'm heading to when I get right to help somebody, is Broadway and Myrtle. I might broadcast it too, because like I said, man, people don't know you're helping people unless you show it. So if you're not leading by example, nobody knows. You get what I'm saying? So like if I help somebody on a high degree on a different level than just giving somebody a $5 bill, a $20 bill, yeah, I'm gonna show people because I want them to know what it is and how it's not that hard. How parting with some of your bread that you earned is not that deep. People act crazy over money. It's my money. Like, it's disgusting. What money turns people into is disgusting. It's disgusting. I would help people in a flash if I could help people, and if I don't know if a person's in trouble, so then if I don't know if a person's in trouble, I can't help. But if somebody I loved, I cared about, needed help, and I was in a position where helping them wouldn't make it where I'm in need of help now, then it's going down.
Pay me $49 to talk to this man one-on-one. And if you think I'm being a little bit too much here is the advisor to the ex-World Economic Forum chairman, Klaus Schwab, Yuval Harari, talking about how AI can add to the Bible.
The third thing about AI that everybody needs to know, it's the first technology ever that can create new ideas. The printing press, radio, television, they broadcast, they spread the ideas created by the human brain, by the human mind. They cannot create a new idea. You know, Gutenberg printed the Bible in the middle of the 15th century. The printing press printed as many copies of the Bible as Gutenberg instructed it, but it did not create a single new page. It had no ideas of its own about the Bible. Is it good? Is it bad? How to interpret this? How to interpret that? AI can create new ideas, can even write a new Bible. You know, throughout history, religions dreamt about having a book written by a superhuman intelligence,
See what he's saying. Honestly, first of all, let me say there's a very, very big chance that he knows way more about technology than me. But what I would say to what he's saying is any AI is created by man. So anything that AI creates is still created by man. In my opinion, in my humble opinion. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you program the AI to do tasks, no matter what anybody says. There has to be programmed. You got to create the program, the software, the application. So whatever whatever tasks it performs is something you programmed it to do. Therefore, anything it produces is because of what you enabled it to accomplish. So still, even if it created a new idea, it was because you created it. You still birthed the idea, in my opinion. You know, people are getting too crazy with the technology because, yeah, it's going to be, you know, and listen, you know, for people who don't know, sentient is when a computer comes to life. When, you know, when a computer, when there's, you know, there is no example of it. Terminator, the movie Terminator, that was sentient. You know, computers that didn't want to die, they understood that if they got turned off, it was over. That's sentient. Now, what he's talking about is AI being able to create an idea. He's not talking about sentient, you know, but like I said, when an idea is birthed through AI, it's still birthed by the person that programmed that AI, in my opinion. And sentient it's beyond far-fetched. You know, everybody is looking for it, but it doesn't exist. You know, if it could ever happen, I don't know. And to be honest with you, if it happened already, that I don't know neither. But as far as I know, sentient is not a thing. It's a thought. It's a contemplation.
Non-human entity. Every religion claims our book, all the books of the other religions, humans wrote them. But our book, no. It came from some superhuman intelligence. In a few years, there might be religions that are actually correct. That just think about a religion whose holy book is written by an AI. That could be a reality in a few years.
Monday.com, the opposite of any work platform we tried in the past. We tried other work management platforms, not naming names.
So he said that.
You know what it is too? The AI, they can cipher codes. So when you look at like ancient scriptures and stuff, if there's any that exist that people can't decipher, there's a chance that these AI minds or the AI they create can break codes. They can understand patterns that people wouldn't understand. So they'll be able to tackle things humans can't. That's the separation, you know. There's still, but you're still, it's like a calculator, you know. If you created a calculator that could do math you couldn't do, that's the equivalent of what the AI would be doing. But it's still amazing. Though I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm the one that told you guys that technology is going to become magical.
Back in 2023, and yet here we are. And even if you're not religious, even if you're not a Christian, the Christians and the non-Christians alike should both agree this is bad. And the thing is, too, you have to remember it's not just Christianity, but also other religions. Like, for example, they also have AI monks over in Japan.
This is Mindar, Japan's real-life robot monk, and it's here to teach us humans about enlightenment. Mindar was built in 2019 by Kodaji Temple and the University of Osaka at a cost of about $1 million, and it was designed to preach the Buddhist Heart Sutra, a text about the emptiness of all things. A metal robot teaching us about emptiness. That's a bit ironic. The temple's priests hoped that it would inspire younger generations who no longer visit temples, because in Japan, religion is fading. So they asked themselves, if people won't come to the monks, maybe the monks should come to them through technology. It's a poetic idea. I mean, a robot teaching that form is emptiness. But here's where things get a bit eerie. Minda doesn't just chant scriptures, it makes eye contact, gestures gracefully, and even explains Buddhist philosophy. It's not currently AI autonomous, which means Minda is preloaded with all these scriptures, and it can't actually engage in open dialogue with the people. So what's the point? To me, it just sounds like lazy preaching, because aren't we taking out the soul of a sermon by getting a robot to recite it? Visitors say they feel calm, even emotional after watching Minda, but others, they are unsettled, because behind its soft-spoken wisdom,
Mindar. I wonder if he's gonna say he kind of tries to push the religion on you, because he's about to say something.
lies a deeper question. Is this truly a monk or a mirror of what humanity is becoming? Automate everything, including spirituality. But I like to think of it this way. Robots don't actually have the credibility that humans have. A robot priest cannot go on a pilgrimage or engage in celibacy.
That's another thing I try to tell people, you know, no matter how incredible a task AI or technology can perform, it will never equate to what a human being is, a soul. You understand? That's the difference. You know, while they can complete tasks a human being can't, probably not even the most intelligent human being in the world, they're gonna make it where the AI can handle a task that that person can't handle. They still can never have a soul, at least not yet.
Things that inspire trust in other humans. Minda can't meditate, can't feel compassion, and definitely cannot suffer. So how is it going to teach us humans to transcend suffering? I think it still has a long way to go. But maybe this is something to think about if you're ever
Go watch Transcendence with Johnny Depp. You'll have a glimpse into the future.
Afraid that AI might replace your job. What are jobs that require the credibility of a human touch? I just found this very interesting, and I decided to share this. But yeah, let me know your thoughts.
Why would you want to build an AI that's smarter than humans? In Silicon Valley, they're calling this super intelligence, but does anybody really want this?
That's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. For anybody who didn't know, you know, you know, it's crazy. I've been watching Joseph Gordon-Levitt since he made the movie about the bank heist. You know, he has short-term memory loss in the movie. He was in like a car accident or something, so he can't remember things. He has to write things down. He becomes the security guard of a bank, and he starts hanging out with this bad influence, and the bad influence convinces him to go rogue. And I'll leave it at that. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could say AI is going to cure diseases, or AI is going to help strengthen our national security. And yeah, like I want those things too. But why couldn't we just build an AI tool to help cure diseases, or build an AI tool to help with national security? Why does it have to all be one big product that does everything? The answer is, of course, that's what'll make more money. They want to build the product that'll imitate a person, make you feel like it's your friend or your lover, turn us all into slop junkies, and make it hard to tell what's true or what's false, and undermine democracy, and yeah, give rise to authoritarianism, and make gajillions of dollars along the way with the most sophisticated, algorithmically placed advertising ever. Is that what we want? Because that's what these big tech companies are talking about when they talk about building super intelligence. So I've just signed this petition called A Statement on Superintelligence that's signed by hundreds of people that are way smarter than I am about this stuff. But it says basically this: let's not build superintelligence until, number one, we can prove it's safe. And number two, the public actually wants it.
And that's what I would love to know. How many out there in the public would like this stuff to slow down? And how many out there do not want this altogether versus those that do? And does it even matter at this point? So some interesting news came out back on October 21st. And
oh man, insects drive me nuts. They're creepy to me. I can't. It's so crazy. I've been in fights before. It's gotten really bad when it comes to the fights when I was younger. I've been through some crazy stuff, you know. I don't want to really, you know, promote anything negative or whatever, but yeah, you know, I went through it when I was young. Not put it like this: the fights and the beefs that I've been through, you wouldn't think I'd be scared to death of an insect, but I can't stand them, you know. And I'm the kind of guy that doesn't like to expire life. So like I don't want to kill an insect. I don't like expiring the life of anything. Even like I know rodents are vermin. So like, I really believe in my heart that they were meant to be exterminated. Like, it's okay. But I still don't that don't mean I like killing anything, you know what I'm saying? But if it doesn't matter what it is, if it gotta go, it gotta go.
And they're saying that mosquitoes are now found in different parts of the world that they've never been in before. For example, they're now found in Iceland, and they are blaming the global warming issue. Continue to read this article from The Guardian, which was published on October 21st. It says, 3 specimens discovered in what was previously one of the few places in the world without the insects. But again, it's not just Iceland, it's other parts of the world too. Continue to read the article. It says, as the planet warms, more species of mosquito have been found across the globe. In the United Kingdom, eggs of the Egyptian mosquito were found this year, and the Asian tiger mosquito has been discovered in Kent. These are invasive species that can spread tropical disease such as dengue, chikungunya, and the Zika virus. So,
the one insect I don't mess with at all is the mosquito. That's the one that scares me, bro. That I really believe that it's gonna one day transmit a disease that's that bad, and God forbid.
Well, again, disease-carrying mosquitoes now found in different parts of the world they've never been in before, and they want us to blame the climate. And I guess, right? But then we remember there are individuals out there with real agendas that have been spreading around GMO mosquitoes. Now, they said that these GMO mosquitoes do not bite, but for whatever reason, since the gated one had released these GMO mosquitoes that do not bite, there was a suspicious rise of malaria in the United States.
I don't trust Bill Gates either. I don't trust any of them billionaires like that. I believe that there could be a good one, but Bill Gates is a little creepy to me.
These same exact locations that he spread these mosquitoes around. The fact checkers, they came out of their toilets and sewers they reside in and said, no, it can't be from him because he loves us. And that was that. But here's something interesting. It's not just mosquitoes, but there's another insect that's also being seen in different parts of the country and the world they've never been seen in before.
Yellowback tick.
And if you're bitten by one, it has a very deadly consequence.
Look at the yellowback.
And it seems to fulfill
All right, the stream is running again. I gotta end it. My computer overheated.